It's and I don't even have words for myself right now. So.
Welcome,
and I don't want to flex.
guys.
Hello.
Hi. How's everybody doing today? We have a new episode of The Filler. We are live with episode 3. We have some amazing guests on today. And yeah, I just want to thank everybody for popping in, supporting this little show here and supporting our content creators that we have here, some amazing women. My name is MARU. For anybody who doesn't know, we have the podcast every Thursday called The Filler, where you guys are viewing right now. I also stream every Monday, Tuesday, and Friday, mostly playing Destiny. And yeah, let me throw it over to my co-host, the Prince of all Saiyans himself, Vegeta.
What is going on, guys? It's your boy Nogi. You already know what the situation is. And today we have another episode of LYFE. As you guys can see, we have a lovely pack of elegant elitists in the game, in the industry. I'm going to throw it over so that they can introduce themselves, of course, because it is not. I'm just a humble abode amongst these dynamic people here. So I'm going to throw it over to Kat and take it away.
Thank you. I was waiting. I was waiting for you to do all the compliments. I was very much taking it all in. Thank you.
Gotcha.
Also, like this position where I'm here, just between you guys, I feel special.
It's cool.
Cute position. So my name is LYFE. I'm a baby streamer. Started on Mixer, came over here on Twitch. I also used to work in the video game industry for 5 years. I still do as a freelancer, but only part-time now. And I used to be full-time for 5 years. I've worked in companies like Square Enix, Unity, among others. So I'm here to discuss these wonderful topics that are very close to my heart that I've been talking about for many years now. And I'm here to preach stuff. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Next, we're going to have the lovely Addie, who I had the pleasure of meeting recently. Take it away, big gangster. You got it.
I'm Addie, also known as ROBOTICADI. I stream. I play a lot of Destiny. I help people do things that they can't normally do with like a fire team. And we just chill, have fun. I'm massively obsessed with Gambit. So, you know, I did have a necklace too, but it broke. I need to fix it. So, yeah, no, I chill. I play video games and everything like that. I also want to say thank you to MARU and Nogi for inviting me on. I feel very honored to be here. And these are very important discussions that need to be had. So, thank you guys.
Of course. Next, we have the homie who definitely... I still have nightmares about what happened at Bungie, but it's all good because we're here and we vibing now. The elegant BROFISH. How are you, big gangster? How was everything?
I'm amazing, absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for having me. My name is BROFISH. I streamed on Twitch for 2 years, and then I switched to Mixer and streamed for 2.5 years there. Was partnered on the platform, and I moved back to Twitch a month ago. And I've been a full-time streamer now for almost 2 years. And I like Destiny, a lot of looter shooters, RPGs, and I just love video games and being a big old dork.
Beautiful. I agree. I too like being a dork. Now, of course, if y'all know me, y'all know that I'm not even gonna get into it because if I start now, it ain't never gonna end. Just know that if it wasn't for this particular individual, there wouldn't be no Nagi. So there's a lot to say. I just can't. Go ahead. Hi.
Hi. I'm Jade. You guys know me as Empress KITSUNE, as a mod in Nagi's channel. I know you guys see a lot of me on Twitter. You guys heard my mouth before in the background of Nagi's stream. I don't stream. I don't have like my own community or anything. I just play Overwatch and Destiny and talk shit and
we love you for it. This is amazing. It's amazing. It's dope. It's dope. Last but certainly not least, very good friend of mine for a very, very, very long time. We go way, way, way back, like 4 Flags on Cadillac for the Instagram days. Liv, how are you, lovey? What's going on, gangster?
I'm good. I am also very grateful to be here and that you guys are giving us a platform to talk about this stuff, because I've been wanting to be more vocal about it for a while now, and I'm glad that you guys are giving us an opportunity to do that. But my name is Liv, or Fox, as a lot of people know me. I'm FOXYTOCINN on Twitch. I'm also a baby streamer, I guess you could say. I've only been streaming for 6 or so months now. I'm very happy to be a part of the community. I play a lot of Destiny, a little bit of Valorant, pretty much any type of FPS. I enjoy trying to be competitive. So.
Fantastic. Well, me and MARU are very, very, very humbled and very appreciative that you all decided to take us up on this offer and be a part of this conversation. As you guys know, that I'm very vocal when it comes down to not only rights for women, but rights for African Americans and Black Lives Matter, and so is MARU. But today we are going to be having discussions specifically dedicated to things that all of you have been exposed to and been experiencing since you've been in gaming, which I can honestly say has probably been for as long as you can remember. It's very, very, very nice to speak to all of you. We have all met before. Everyone in chat, please be sure to support every individual that is here on this particular podcast episode. And with that being said, MARU, you sexy beast, you go ahead and take it away, my man.
You know, I just want to say real quick, I kind of feel a little hurt because when you were giving Jade that like blow up, I kind of thought you were talking about me, but I mean, you know, it is what it is, I guess. It is, you know.
Ever.
It's like at the awards ceremony when you think they're gonna call your name and you're like ready to stand up, and then it's somebody else, and you're like,
if that's the case,
and you're standing up, and everybody's looking at you like.
And she got Model of the Year, and you just got
runner up.
You just
participation award. But no, okay. Jokes aside, serious topic. Obviously, there's a lot to talk about when it comes to women in gaming and women specifically in the competitive scene. I want to kind of start this conversation with Fox, because she is the one that tweeted out something that made me think about this and made me want to put this group together to discuss it. So Fox, I'm going to read word for word what you said. So I'm going to kind of put you on blast here. So you tweeted on June 26th at 3:06 p.m. You said, "So all girl pickups need to happen. I want the women in this community to have a comfortable space to get into the sweat community, and I think women only threes would be a good start. If you're interested in getting involved in pickups, feel free to comment below or DM me." So I want to start off with you. What got you to want to text that and start building that? Because when you said that, I had thought to myself, I was like, yeah, I see female or I see women streamers. I'm trying to stop myself from saying female streamers because it's weird to say. I want to say women streamers. So I've seen women streamers, but when I look at tournaments, low-level community ones and even big ones, you don't really see women pronounced for whatever reason. So that's why this whole topic is coming apart. So I just want to start with you. What was it that made you want to tweet that out? What were you thinking?
So my main purpose for tweeting that out was literally pretty much just what I said in it, was that I wanted women to have a way to get involved in the Destiny 2 sweat community specifically. And I have also noticed that there were not girls involved in it pretty much at all. And I wanted them to have a comfortable space where they could learn the rules, learn the maps, learn what threes is actually like, get comfortable playing with the team in that environment, because it's much different than playing just quick play or comp or even trials. Like, it's a completely different mindset. And I really didn't think girls had a spot to do that, where they could like comfortably ask someone, you know, what are sweat rules? Does my loadout work? Does it not work? What's the map rotation? That kind of thing. So that was pretty much my goal. I just wanted to give people a spot where they could feel like you can ask questions, you can be yourself. It's okay if you make mistakes. This is to learn, to get better. This is just like pure equal improvement between all players as players. Like, no, you're a female, you're a guy, none of that. Just girls being girls and enjoying their prove it.
what's the and anybody can answer this. What's the stigma, I guess, as being a woman streamer? Like, what do you guys go through like on a daily basis? Not even just with competitive, but just like streaming in general or playing
That
games.
it's easy for us.
Mm.
That it's handed to us on a platter.
Is this the right time to share some of my statistics that I found?
Okay, you know I love numbers, so throw them at me.
I love so 13% of Twitch is female streamers, and 35% of Twitch is female viewers. So the viewers are 35%, the streamers are 13%. A lot of people, when they go through just chatting or what they see, they assume that it's a lot higher, but actually there's only 13% of streamers that are female on the platform. And I actually wanted to come back to how you said you wanted to say women streamers. I found it really kind of angering that recently I was looking at hashtags on Instagram, and which one of the female streamer or girl gamer type of hashtag do you think is the most popular when it comes to a streamer? Because you have hashtag female streamers, you have hashtag women streamers, and you have hashtag girl streamer.
Girl.
Yeah.
Girl gamer. Girl gamer.
Yeah.
Girl
Always
gamer.
the girl. Always the girl. So that made me think about that. That it's never women, it's always like girls.
Yeah,
it's always girls.
It's always us as like infantilizing us, basically.
Yeah. And
Like,
if anyone asks
Like we're
where
just girls.
those statistics are provided by Stream Hatchet, and the 13% is actually from 2017. So I'm assuming that that number has grown, but not by a very large number. And the 35% of the female audience on Twitch is a statistic from 2020, so that's pretty recent. And there are only 14 women in the top 500 streamers on the platform, and their average watch time is significantly lower than their male counterparts. Only 14 female streamers in the top 500.
That means there's 486 male streamers in the top 500 and 14 females.
So there's a lot of misconception that women have it easier on the platform, but everything on the platform works against us, literally. Like there's the argument, oh, you get more viewers because you're female. Well, there's not that many female streamers, and all of the more successful people are male. Literally all of the top streamers are male. Then there's the argument, oh, but women get more money in donations. Well, actually, there is a very niche amount of women in the mid-range streamers, people that have between 500 to 1,000 viewers. That is the only niche where women get more donations, and that is a very small percentage more than the male counterparts. In the top 500, the male ones actually get paid more than the female counterparts, especially from deals from actual companies. Women get paid less.
Well, and I think it's also worth noting, you may get more click engagement because people see that you're female, but your challenge to retain viewership is infinitely harder. I was on front page last week playing Hyperscape, on the front page of Twitch in the center slot. I mentioned the word husband. I lost 200 viewers in 5 seconds.
God
200 damn. Instantly. I literally watched the number go clunk.
Yeah.
So like when people think you inherently have it easier, but all you have to do is say that you're not interested, and you lose a huge chunk of your audience. Like, and people are. It always bothers me because you have it easier. No, like that doesn't happen to male streamers. They don't go, oh, wife, and they don't have all the males in their community go, oh, I'm gone. Like,
I mean, it's a lot harder to build a community.
Yeah, the challenge for retention for female streamers is actually infinitely harder. Yes, we may get more engagement on the front end, but the challenge of us actually keeping those viewers around is much harder.
So we have a stereotype. We have a lot of stereotypes that we have to live up to, or we have to debunk to be able to retain viewers.
Yeah.
So you've got and I'm gonna say it, and people hate this, and I hate this phrase so much.
So do I.
Titty streamers.
I hate it.
I hate that phrase. If a woman is comfortable enough in her body to still be in bounds of Twitch TOS, who gives a shit? I don't care. Like, if you've got a cracking set and you're within Twitch TOS, fair enough.
If women want to use that as a business model, if they want to sell sex appeal as a business model, that shouldn't be anything shameful. Like, I don't understand how that's a bad thing.
And if you don't like it, just don't watch.
It's a good business model. It works. Why shouldn't they do it?
Sex appeal has always sold. Always sold.
Exactly.
People, do you know what it is? Do you know what it is? It's people being mad that women are smart enough to
use their own bodies.
So men create this market, but then are mad when it is used for the advantage that is not in their favor.
Mm-hmm.
They're mad when the tables get turned on them.
So
and I don't think it matters what you wear. Like I'm not that comfortable in my body. I like to wear t-shirts and hoodies, but I'm not going to slam someone who is comfortable with their body because that's not a me issue, and it doesn't detract from my content at all.
No. So that's the first stereotype you have as a woman on Twitch, that you're a titty streamer.
Mm-hmm.
The next one that you have is clearly you they're obviously not as good at the game as males.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's that too. Or sorry, men. I'm ignorant towards the ways of the using the female, male, and woman, men. In my personal mind, they're basically the same thing, but you know, I'm not entirely sure. So you've got titty streamers, sex appeal, selling that kind of stuff. That's fair enough. You're comfortable doing that. You're comfortable doing that. You will always have haters doing that because they do not have what you have, or they are not as successful as you, and they think they are better, which is an elitist way of looking at things.
Mm-hmm.
You have to doubly, if you want to be respected as a good player, you have to work doubly as hard.
Oh yeah.
To be respected.
Yep.
Because you're just a woman. So speaking of Destiny, I've gone to LFGs before, and I've went to teach raids and stuff like that. And predominantly the fire teams have been male. And let me tell you, sometimes there's been times where they won't listen to me because I am female, because clearly I do not know what I am talking about.
Same.
And there's this vicious circle that I've seen a lot in esports as well, as I've done some photography jobs for esports. I see this a lot. There's a vicious circle where, statistically speaking, and I'm going to bring this up a lot, but statistically speaking, women are not as good at games as men are. And that is because when we try to be good, we are kind of pushed into this environment that works against us. And there's only that many people who are going to persevere through that kind of living hell to actually make it to the top level. Because why? You're not even being rewarded for your hard work. So why should you put in the hard work? Because
and
being good at something is a lot of hard work. And if you're not getting paid off for your hard work, why would you invest that time and effort into something, even if you love it? Because you know you're not going to get rewarded for it.
Well, yeah, and I think it's fair to say that a woman who works twice as hard to achieve the same level of respect, like, so a male can work a certain amount, right? So say that a male works a certain amount of time to be good at Destiny. I feel like a woman in the space has to go above and beyond to work twice as hard to be on the same level of respect as that person. You have women who are busting their butts to get solo flawlesses, to get all of the raid exotics, to get everything, just to be treated exactly the same as an average male gamer. Just to be treated on the same level as an average male in the Destiny community. We feel like we have to go above and beyond and get every title, get every seal, just to feel like we're respected on the same level. Because that inherently we're not respected for being average, which I don't like. I
feel like that's like the definition of projection. Like people see, every proof says that we gain less by working 10 times harder. But people just look at someone more successful than themselves and they make up all these excuses of how they're cheating the system to make themselves feel better about their own negligence.
Sorry, go ahead.
I'm very sorry to interrupt you.
No,
everything that you guys are saying is like, it's as you can see, me and MARU input. I'm specifically talking to the people in chat right now. Everything that these very professional, very articulate, very intelligent women are expressing to you guys currently right now is 100% fact. And to give a bit more insight on it, I'm going to actually use myself as an example. Now, I'm not doing this to blow any smoke up anybody's ass or to try to make it seem like anything that it's not. This is 100% fact. What I'm about to express to you is exactly how it's proof. It's proof, and I'm going to use literally my analytics of my channel. I'm not going to show you my numbers because it's none of your fucking business. But I'm gonna utilize the analytics of my channel as proof. Right? I've been playing Destiny since it came out. Pretty sure that most of us here that have been watching, and the people who are on this podcast, have also been playing Destiny as long as it's come out.
Mhm.
I personally just recently get her out of here. I just, as everybody knows, I just recently started getting into Overwatch. I have not been playing or streaming Overwatch for more than 3 or 4 months, I would say. Literally less than a few months.
Right.
Now, Empress is, even though she's not a streamer as of yet, and this is actually going to lead into a conversation that I actually want to get into, because it's a particular topic that is not only sustaining the conversation that all of you are actually expressing, but unfortunately, this conversation of the dehumanization of women in the gaming industry transcends well beyond the women who are on camera. There are some women who actually won't even pursue streaming, even though they're interested in it, because of what they experience, which is honestly 10 times worse off camera. And as again, I'm utilizing the experiences that I've witnessed while spending my life with Empress, because I've been friends with her for a very long time, and we met through gaming, and what she's experienced is why I'm saying what I'm saying. But that's going to lead into the conversation that we're going to have in a short while. The reasons why I'm saying what I'm saying is I personally have not been playing Overwatch for more than 3 or so months, right? 3 or 4 months, 4 months maximum. When it comes down to skill and understanding of the game, I am bronze. I am a shit. I don't know nothing. I think I've made maybe some of the funnest, coolest looking plays 100% by pure accident. Pure accident. I will give myself a tad bit of credit, but the tad bit of credit that I have ever given myself has been solely based off of the knowledge and understanding that I was taught, not achieved by myself. I was taught. Literally in every sense. Think of a child opening a book with a teacher telling said child how to do X, Y, and Z by Empress. Empress has literally taught me how to play Overwatch. And the amount of success that I have obtained while playing Overwatch is 100% because I am a guy playing Overwatch. She is obviously the better player. I guarantee you that if she was to do the exact same play as I made, I would be subjective to skill. She would be subjective to luck.
Somebody told me that, like literally.
Yep.
Somebody literally told me one time that the only reason I seemed good or reached diamond was because of lady luck. And when they told me that, and not to sound like an asshole, like, one, I was insulted because I know I play better than that individual. And two, in my 4 years of playing Overwatch, over 3,000 hours, like I played since beta, and I went out of my way to learn different things to be better than the men I were playing with. For somebody to tell me that I just got where I am, or I seem to play better because of lady luck, with the quickness, I told him to kiss my ass. Because
Good.
Nobody, like Nagi has seen it, a few people in chat have seen it. And this was even when we played Destiny and Little Light Radio was still a clan and everything. I always put 110% to be a better teammate and to be the best person on the team at any given time. Because I know that if there's one slip up, the person who's gonna look like is the reason for it is me.
Right, and people can make tons more mistakes, right? People could make 10 mistakes, but if you make one, you're awful, right?
Yeah, like I literally played a match one time where the 5 other teammates I had were just bullshitting. And I was carrying, unfortunately, and somebody literally was like, "Your brother is probably playing for you. That's not even you playing." And I was like, "Okay, cool." Like, obviously, even when I'm carrying you to a win, it's still not enough because you don't believe it's me.
It's never enough. It's never enough. And I often wondered if this is like, I used to think it's the fault of women who do that, women who actually do get their brother or boyfriend to play in their own voice chat or whatever. But then I realized that's such a wrong way of looking at it. This is not going to fix anything. Blaming the women who do that is not fixing the issue. It's like, the issue is a cultural issue that needs to be solved at the core. And women, if they want to do that, they should be able to do that without other women getting the backlash for it, or even them getting the backlash for it. You should be able to do.
I have a question for Fox. So you just started streaming 6 months ago, you said, right?
Yeah.
How has it been during the 6 months as a new streamer coming into a market that is already filled up with a lot of people and it has its issues? Like, how has that experience been for you?
It's been very interesting. I'm like pretty thick-skinned, so stuff doesn't really like get to me, but obviously like over time it bothers me, and it more honestly bothers me when I started streaming and started meeting more girls in the community. It bothered me more for them. I'd see what was happening to them, and I didn't even care so much. Like, I saw it happening to me, but I almost just like whooshed like straight past my head. But I see it happening to them, and I'm like,
man, I feel that so much.
Like,
I deflect the same way. Like, I don't care when it happens to me, but if you come after my friend, I'm gonna.
I feel it. I see a lot of young girls that don't know better, and I'm like, I need to shield you from this.
Yeah, I need to protect you.
I need to protect.
I fully believe that, like, when you come into streaming and like, so put it this way, I obviously shave my head, and one of the reasons that I use wigs is because it's less likely that some troll's going to come in and be like, are you a boy or a girl? Because that's happened to me on occasion, even when I did have long hair.
Yeah, that's happened to me too.
Like,
I'm sorry, I don't want to cut you off, but I'm too violent. Are you a boy or a girl? You want to see my dick? Huh? You want to see it?
This is the thing.
Hey.
Someone has said that to me. I said, I'm a girl, but I probably still have a bigger dick than you do.
Ooh, I like that. I like that. I was going to say you can still be a girl and have a dick, though, but, you know, whatever. I like that.
You know, somewhere else. But, you know, it's just like the inherent sexism that happens is at the very core of the gaming community. Like, because let's be real, gaming was predominantly male for a long time, and women are not in my view, and not in your guys' view or anything like that, but in the blanket statement view, we are lower down on the totem pole. And let me tell you, it's a grind to get up there. So like, I feel for you, Fox. I really do. Coming in and starting streaming and having to deal with this shit that normally happens. Like, you're a girl, you're not that good. People are just there because you look good. Or blah 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 blah. You know, and it's like,
I've literally just been like trying to use those people to prove my point, because
I know, right?
I made another tweet like after that one, when all this stuff had happened, and I was just like, people wonder why there aren't more girls like in the D2 sweat.
Why? Hello, like, you treat us like shit.
I think it's also worth noting.
Like, oh, girls are just shit, or like girls are just bad at the game. Or this was my favorite one, and it was like, you can't expect to just be given a handout because you want to be in the sweat community. I was like, I'm not asking for a handout. Like, I'm decent. Let me in. Like, I don't understand.
I think the other point I want to bring up is, I don't know if you guys notice this as female streamers or as women streamers or anything. Tell me if this has ever happened to you, because I feel like this is a wider problem than we talk about. You have viewers that hang out in your male streamer friends' chats, right? They're perfectly respectful to your male friends. They're perfectly normal. Everything's fine. They treat your male friends with respect. Your male friend raids you. Suddenly, they're awful people to you.
Yep. Yeah.
I've seen that a lot.
They can treat your male friends with respect, and all of my male friends get respect from these viewers. But the second they see me, even though I've been I've been raiding with this person for 3 hours. We would literally play together for 3 hours that day. I was in voice, everything was fine. They weren't shit talking me in their chat, but the second they come in my chat, they start shit talking, and I'm like, you've been hearing me for the last 3 hours, but now you're saying it in my chat because why?
I see that, and
that happens all the time.
Not only to male to female, but I see that depending on how you build your community, because I think men in general have a bigger how do I say that, like more room to build their community the way they want it to be.
Yes.
Right.
And I've seen like audience, I've seen people in chat being one way in a certain male streamer's chat, and then a completely different person in another person's chat, depending on how they build their community. In one chat, they'll be like shit talking and being a complete ass troll, and in the other chat, they'll be like talking about deep thoughts about death and stuff, for example. Yeah. It's really about how you build up community. But as female streamer, you have this inherent first impression bias that your community is all about, you know, something sexual in some way.
Yep.
And
you're already working against the bias.
Yeah, absolutely. And
if
once
you say
work
one thing wrong,
bias,
people leave.
Then maybe you can build a community. Maybe.
Yeah.
And can I share a link in chat?
Yeah.
Okay.
Go
because this is like a link to the statistics, and at the bottom of the page, there's a little graph that is a research done by the University of Indiana.
That did not come to play.
And yeah, I'm ready.
The names. The words. The words.
And you can see the words, the most used words in a female streamer's chat versus the most used words in a male streamer's chat. Now,
oh god,
some of the most used words in a female streamer's chat are things like kitty, bitch, boobs, tits, cosplay, cute, beautiful, pussy, marry, love. And then male chat doesn't have anything. It has like bro, man, case, dude, point, winner, nothing negative.
Normal shit.
Just normal conversation. Not a single negative word in the male streamer's chat. But then you go to the female streamer chat and it's like, yo, pussy, marry, love, cute, kappa, kitty, tits, bruh.
In that order.
Like it's not the streamers that are making the stream inherently sexual. It's the viewers saying these words.
So I have a question, because I've seen a couple tweets out about this, and I'm not gonna name names, but there's a certain couple of people who said there's a streamer who has like this what's the wording for this? The way she portrays herself is as a child, in a sense. So she had, even though she is older, she's in her 20s, she portrays herself as a child with like the things she does, and the way she poses, and the way she talks. Do you think that is an issue? No. If she's catering to a certain fantasy that people have, apparently. Do you think that's creating a bad stigma?
Is she actually legal though?
She is legal.
Then there's no
problem. I see no problem.
I did see people complaining about, like, women streamers complaining that she's putting a bad rep out for women streamers because of that.
I don't think in this industry that we have that any women should be going after other women unless those women are being the only time in everything that we're dealing with as women in streaming. We should be lifting each other up. The only women that I have a problem with are the women that degrade other women.
Yep.
That's the only thing that I have a problem with, is because we should be standing together.
Also, that's also a business model. It is a business model as much as someone like Amaranth is a business model selling sex. You can sell people's fantasy, and I think as long as legally it's okay, then that's fine.
Empress,
that's the thing that concerns me. It's just like, if there wasn't a market for it, we wouldn't have it.
It wouldn't be successful.
There is a market for it. There's a huge market for something like that.
Using that, she's being smart about it.
Yeah.
People are going to tune in because they're into that shit. That's just what it is. Like,
it is business.
As you're not breaking TOS or being disrespectful or anything like that, I don't give a fuck what she does to build her community and make her money. If she knows how to manipulate a market, Girl, that's how you do business.
Right, and when you have guys on Twitter literally saying, "Well, if I had boobs, I would do the same thing," then why are you
In your
mad?
head. Half of y'all do have bigger boobs than me. You could be out here doing what you do.
Same though. And like, my favorite thing when guys are like, "You're only successful because of your boobs," is to turn sideways. Because I don't know if you guys noticed, I got nothing. There's nothing here. So where are these boobs that are making me successful? I got nothing. Absolutely nothing.
I'm so successful, guys. Thanks to these ladies. So successful here.
Yeah,
super successful.
So
career builders here on my chest.
Right, so here's the thing then. From what I'm gathering from what you guys are saying, as a viewer, a male viewer more so, they're going in and they're going on Twitch and they're mostly scrolling for according to Cat stats, mostly for males who are good at gaming, whereas when they do see a woman, they are only just looking for those people who appeal to whatever.
They're looking at appearance. They're not looking for game skill.
Yeah.
That's
basically
the
what's
sad
occurring
part
right now.
So it's not the women that are the problem. It's the men that are searching and going, guys for skill, girls for if she looks hot. That's the problem.
Well, people keep thinking Twitch is a dating site. First of all, they shouldn't be doing that, but that's the mentality going in right now. And I feel like because of that is why we don't see, and Fox can attest to this, why we don't see competitive women out in the spotlight as they should be. Because if in my own ignorance, I'll be 100% transparent, is that when I think about women streamers who are in the sweat community, whether that be Destiny, Overwatch, there's maybe only 5 I can think of that play PvP religiously and that are really, really good at it and can consider themselves sweats. But when I think about, for males, I can name 20, 30, 40 people. Yeah. And I don't know if it's an issue because I'm personally not looking for it, or because in the environment that we're in the world that we live in right now, it's not pronounced. So since I'm not looking for it, it's not coming at me.
That's not that statement is 100% logical, and I'm pretty sure that there's a lot of weight behind what it is that you're saying. But at the same time, it's like you've got to kind of understand the many variables that comes with that, right? And I'm not in any way, shape, or form expressing or condoning that our ignorance on the matter is okay, right? Because if we're looking and this is only coming from the Destiny community, we're not even touching base on Empress, who was a part of the Overwatch community, right? Because most of us here are a part of Destiny. I think, Kat, you're a part of the Overwatch community, correct?
I've played enough MMOs to know what you're
She's part of the numbers community.
No, I'm talking about like in terms of, I'm not saying that. I'm talking about in terms of like what type of community you would express your content or your streams to mainly be a part about, because BROFISH, Fox, and Addy would be a part of the Destiny community. Jade would be
I'm variety, dude.
Yeah,
okay, that's fantastic. So you have a wide scale of majority of different communities. So you have a larger range when it comes down to what it is that we're discussing here, right?
Right.
So especially, you notice that a lot in MMOs, though. People actually do go to MMOs to use it as Tinder, just like they do with Twitch.
When I streamed Final Fantasy, or even like there were even other variety games, because back when I used to stream on Twitch or on Mixer, like I would play a lot of different games, and like I would notice the audience varies different based on different games. There are some games where guys literally just want to come in and flex how good they are at stuff. Like they have to come in and come into the female streamers chat and be like, I've done this, and this, and I need to tell you 100% of this game because I have to flex on you. Oh, you're not there yet? Oh gosh, you're not as valid as I am.
Like, what became a trigger for me in every MMO, because I play pretty much every MMO that comes out, right? And what became a trigger for me is those types of people that the moment they learn I'm a girl, they'll offer to give me items that are really hard to get in the game.
I hate that.
I'm like, I want to work for it. I want to work for it. Stop giving me shit.
Yeah. I had that with Borderlands. When I started playing Borderlands 3 on Mixer, I was working with 2K. I got my copy from 2K. Like I played Borderlands for 6 years, and I had people within the first week being like, I want to give you every legendary gun in the game. And they come in and this is the response. This is how it's different from male to female streamers. Males, they come in and they're like, hey bro, would you like some of these guns? That's super cool. guys will come in and they'll come in and they'll be like, "Oh, girl, if I could just give you every gun in the game, girl, I would. Just let me take care of you. Let me carry you. Let me give you all the guns in this game so you don't have to work for them. Let me take that burden off your shoulders because it's just too much for you."
Too much for your poor delicate
let me
shoulders.
spend all that money on you.
It's like, I love MMOs. I love grindy games. I've been playing grindy games since I was 7 years old. Let me grind for my guns, bitch. Let me grind for my shit. I just did Anarchy. I just did Scourge of the Past today. Got my Anarchy. I was happy. Like, let me grind for my shit. I want to earn it.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But they was like, "Oh, girl."
They do. They do.
Man, I lost it.
So I have a question for Jade. Jade, I've known you the same amount of time. I've known Nogi for about 7-8 years. I know you're ridiculously amazing, top tier at Overwatch. As much as you downplay it, stop. But when you play online, and I know obviously you're not streaming, but when you're playing online, do you even bother putting on a mic to talk to people?
Within the last year, no. And the reason why is because I would have more experiences where they'll be more focused on my voice and be like, "You sound like Sombra. Oh my God, her voice. Oh, where are you from?" And I'm like, "Fuck you. Like, let's focus on the match."
Yeah.
Or it'll be a situation where they hear a woman's voice and their ego immediately gets bruised.
Oh my God.
They have to tell me, like, I've had people tell me death threats and shit online and tell me all kind of extra shit simply because I was a woman. And it's not even, "Oh, I'm bad," because in Overwatch, your stats is there. My profile is always open to see whatever the fuck you want. And it's always all PP man who wants to tell me what I'm not doing or what I need to do, or, "Oh, well, you need to stay in the kitchen." I'm like, yeah, I could cook me a whole meal and beat your ass.
Hell yeah.
Telling me doesn't relate. So it got training where literally 80% of my matches for the day would be me having to argue with other men rather than me focusing on the game. And that takes a toll on my gameplay, that takes a toll on my mental, and it's nothing that I feel anybody should deal with. So I'm definitely lately, I tell people like, yo, if being in game chat is going to harm you mentally, don't do it. I don't give a fuck if people think you need it's mandatory. I shouldn't be in a situation where people feel comfortable enough to call me out of my name or be disrespectful just because they know I'm a woman.
Right, and you just want to play the video game, right? Like,
it's so sad that we have to do
the
that.
thing that always gets me on Twitter is when guys are like, "Girls are bringing their drama into video games and getting upset about this. Just let us play." I had somebody, when I came out about my story of being stalked at a convention, I had somebody DM me on Twitter because I was coming forward about a harassment issue. And I had someone DM me and then block me immediately after they DM'd me so that I couldn't respond to them. And they said, "Keep your stupid ass drama out of my feed and out of Destiny. We don't want it. We just want to play our video games."
Bruh, you're the one bringing the drama.
So
with
he
your
says,
small PP energy.
And he said, "I just want to play my video games free of your drama." Do you know what we want as women is to just play our goddamn video games?
Hell yeah.
We just want to play our video games.
That one particular guy just managed to not masturbate that day, and he was just really upset. So fuck him.
Like, I think I can speak for all of us when I say we just want to play the video game.
Now,
You know
one
what's sad,
thing that Mike had, well, Maru, sorry, Maru. One thing that Maru had
told the man's government, damn.
Right?
Maru made a statement about something that he was talking about earlier, where he was questioning whether or not it wasn't because of him that he wasn't seeing the more sweat community in D2 that are on the women area than the male area. And what I was gonna speak on before we got into the next particular topic was that I can say that it has to go hand in hand, not only with us, but as an industry in its entirety, right? And I'm not talking about the part of the industry that is literal shit, right? Because there's a part of the industry, which is the vast majority of the industry, that doesn't care about what we're talking about at all. All they care about is what makes them money, what is more sellable, X, Y, and Z, right? So the area in which people can, and the area in which everyone can simply just enjoy their games is very, very, very minuscule, very small in that aspect of growth, right? So yes, it does fall on us to search for it, but my statement on it, and it's maybe, I don't think it's controversial, but I'm pretty sure that it may be kind of hard to wrap your head around it, is it's unfortunate that it's way more unfortunate that women have to go through what they go through, but it's also a double-edged sword, because it's like all you guys really want to do is just game. All you guys really want to do is just get better. All you guys really want to do is just be able to turn on your console and not be berated, belittled, and dehumanized just because of something that you literally have no choice to do anything about it, right? So it's the fact that it shouldn't even be a situation to where we, like, men who are defending you, it's so bad at the fact that we, in order for you guys to enjoy your experience, is to really be defended by men who respect what it is that you're going through, right? Because Brofish made a statement. She said that when a person will raid a female streamer, someone that they've been playing with regularly, someone that they know on a regular basis, immediately the chat becomes this toxic, sexist, disgusting X, Y, and Z. And I'm telling y'all right now, Planet Vegeta, if I ever find out, I'm breaking all y'all legs.
I'm coming to beat your ass.
Your community is amazing. I've never had an issue. They're wonderful. But
That
I
is
would tell
actually
you,
a very good question.
Now, I'm so sorry, Kat.
I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry.
I'm gonna get right to you right after this. Now, like I said, the thing that is disturbing to me is the fact that men who respect what women are going through have to defend. I shouldn't have to defend them. These women don't want to be defended. Right. I know a lot of women who can kick my ass. They don't want to be defended.
Right. Our validity shouldn't be determined by whether or not a man sticks up for us.
They don't want to.
I would.
They don't want to. You know what I'm saying? They have the opportunity. I'm so sorry. I'm not gonna cut y'all off. This is about y'all. It's not a situation to where you guys want to be defended. No one wants to be defended. No one
exactly.
Wants to come off as if they need to be, or you're not some damsel in distress. It's honestly disgusting at the fact that as men who care about what y'all going through, we have to be able to stand in front of y'all and be like, you're not going to talk to women like that. What is wrong with y'all? At the end of the day, what is wrong with y'all? Y'all got mothers, y'all got cousins, y'all got sisters, y'all got daughters, y'all got nieces. Something is off in the imbalance, right? So it comes down to the consistency. It comes down to utilizing your platform for the right topics, for the right reasons. Of course, within reason, because everybody, I mean, I'm only saying within, I don't have a reason. I'm going to go above and beyond because I believe in this shit, right? But to someone who has a larger platform, or has a lot, you know what I'm saying? Like they're under NDA or legalities or whatever the case may be, within reason, use your platform for the right reasons. Of course, for the ones who have to be very careful about what they say and how they do things. I'm very aware of those particular individuals, but there should be no scenario. It shouldn't exist that you guys have to be saved. That bothers me. But I understand that as a man, it falls on me to create a community, whether the channel is big or not, to create a community that teaches and expresses and influences people to be better human beings, not only to people of myself and people in general, but specifically to women. Because again, y'all would not be watching me. That way, the filler would not exist. Understand this, the filler would not exist, MARU would not exist, right? Because me and MARU came together to be content. Me and Brofish would have never met. None of this would have happened if it wasn't for the influence and the teachings of a woman. So y'all really got to sit down and think about all that. Y'all wouldn't be breathing if it wasn't for a woman. Like, why y'all?
So
Addie, you want to say something?
Yeah. So
And Kat, because Kat was so good.
It's shitty that I personally would stick up for myself, and I have stuck up for myself against trolls and everything like that, the usual. And also just to really quickly touch on the whole abuse that women get in a voice chat, go to YouTube, search up Rainbow Six, and there's a
Oh
what
my
girl
god, Siege is the fucking worst.
Siege is awful. There is a huge YouTube series of the amount of shit that this one girl gets. This one woman gets when she goes into Siege and she's in voice channel. If you do not believe that women get abused and like hell like slung at them while in a public voice chat, go and watch those YouTube videos and tell me it doesn't happen. And it
I
will
think the
happen
channel
in
is
every
called
single-
Hey and B.
I can't remember the name of it, but
Well, I
like
think that's the one.
you cannot turn around and tell me that doesn't happen in every gaming community that has an open mic. There's
Right,
no
and
way.
they'll try to tell you, they'll try to be like, oh, well, these women wouldn't have survived in Modern Warfare 2 lobbies. Everybody wants to come back to Modern Warfare 2 lobbies, as if like that somehow that somehow is your badge of honor that you survived a toxic cesspool. It doesn't make it better.
There's a difference
making it seem
like
as
here's the thing.
though
The difference between Modern Warfare 2 lobbies and gaming and harassment towards women is this. In Modern Warfare 2 lobbies, you were shit on because you were shit on because you were a gamer. You don't get the same comments. It's a different comment to say, I think you suck, you're trash. I can handle people telling me I'm trash. I can handle people telling me I suck. It's different when it's you suck because you're a woman.
Girl. Yeah, because you're a woman or because you're female.
No, like I don't care if
disrespectful shit.
I don't like toxicity ever. The difference here is that it's toxicity because you're a female, because you exist.
Modern Warfare is a terrible representation because there was like you literally enter in a lobby and before you gender or not, the moment you speak, you're immediately called the N-word.
But that's everyone. Whereas we're talking about targeted harassment towards women.
Right. Absolutely.
People like to make it seem as though that is just regular trash talking and you have to deal with it. Oh, well, you're in gaming. That I've been gaming since I was 3 years old. I've been in Gears lobby, I've been in Halo lobbies, I've been in Battlefield lobbies, and I'm sorry, that is not just regular trash talking, and that should not be normalized. You being that disrespectful just because somebody is a woman, just because you have the balls to do so online, some bullshit.
Yeah, and the lobby's perfectly respectful until the girl speaks.
Yeah, so people need to stop normalizing it.
I think there's multiple elements to that. I've noticed that in more male-dominated games, like shooters in general, they would have more males than females. Even less females play shooters than normal average games. I think from the statistics I've seen, the most popular games among women are RPGs. Like I can relate to that. And MMORPGs, shockingly, because we're social creatures. But generally, there's less women in shooters, and that's why there's even more sexism over there. But in my personal opinion, there can be moderation done by the developer and community team to not encourage that kind of behavior. But my problem with games like Call of Duty or whatever, where Rainbow Six is probably the worst that I've seen. Just purely online, I haven't even played these games. I'm scared to play these games. But from what I've seen online, I think it's the lack of like encouragement or any kind of moderation from the developer team to take a stance against that. They're just letting it happen.
Yep.
There are certain developers that will take action to prevent that or punish that kind of behavior. And there's certain games that will not do anything about it.
Yeah. I want to cite Bungie for that because they have stated and recently updated their code of conduct and everything to be like, if you are a sexist asshole, if you are a racist asshole, your world's first could be canceled. If it is found at any point during your achievements in this game that you won something important in Destiny or you won something important in a world's first race, but you used racist or sexist language while you were doing it, we reserve the right to revoke that achievement from you because we don't want you in our community.
So the point that I was only like really briefly touching on that, but the point that I was gonna make was that sure, like as soon as a woman sticks up for herself, she is deemed emotional. She is deemed taking it too seriously.
She's a bitch.
She's a bitch.
Yep.
She's a cunt. She's really, really bad.
It's always a negative. I mean? Yeah.
But so it is really so. As much as we as women do dislike the fact that men have to stick up for us, it has to happen so much so that because men men that like berate women for being on video games, they're going to still view it as normal until so many men stand up for these women and say, yo, what you're doing is fucking dog trash. Stop doing it.
Call out that behavior.
Yeah, exactly. You have to call out that behavior to stop, to make it not normalized.
There are certain situations in which it's easier to notice that and call it out, but there are certain situations in which men cannot see that unless they are kind of in our shoes. For example, in my experience in video games, working in a video game company, I've experienced a lot of sexism in there, like in real life, and it's that is even harder to notice because other men will not necessarily look for it or see it. So I don't have a solution to this problem. That's why I'm interested in this conversation, because I don't have a solution to this problem. My only possible solution is raising awareness so that people would actively be looking out for that. Because when you tell Bob that his friend Chris has been harassing Karen, of course he's gonna be like, what the fuck? But he's my bro. There's no way he's been doing that, because he's not gonna act that way towards you.
Yeah. Oh,
You're
he doesn't
never
do that in
gonna
front
see
of
that.
me. Yeah,
exactly.
That's another topic.
Real quick, Nagi, I don't mean to cut you off, but I just wanted to ask, because Kat, you had said, what do we need to do to fix this? And I wanted to ask Fox, when you had those scrims with just women, how was that for you? Like, how did that feel, knowing like you can play competitively in a sweat match and not have to actually worry that you're gonna have to hear some trash talk that was towards you being a woman?
It was really good, actually. Like that aspect of it, playing with them, was really good. But the sad thing is, I'd love to say it was just perfect and I enjoyed every moment of it. I was so nervous that someone was going to come into my chat or make a comment. Someone was sitting there thinking like, these are not as entertaining as actual sweats. Or I don't actually want to watch this because this is slow, or this is boring, or oh my god, she put a bow on, those are banned. Like, I didn't want to deal with that shit, and it was in the back of my tired.
right.
What do you think is ways that we can try to make it more so that you guys can have, at least in the Destiny type community, where we can have women's sweats going on and have them in tournaments and have them prominent? Is it part of the streamer or the player's job to really put themselves out there, or is it, I know that's part of it, and I would probably say the other part is just as a community being more accepting towards it and not giving you guys trash. But what do you think is more things that we can do for that type of thing?
I think it's definitely a combination. I know, like, I want to continue to do a better job of speaking up for myself and for other women, and I know a lot of other women do that too. Like, we need to use our voices when we have but like, there needs to be an entire overhaul of how people view gaming content in general, because I can tell you right now, there have been several times where like I've been in well-known sweats chats who I would consider friends, and they're looking for a spot or something, and I don't want to say anything because I don't want to fear like them being called a simp. And that's happened before, where literally I'll say something in chat like, oh, I could fill that spot or whatever, and they'll be like, oh, you pick her up, you know you're a simp, right? Like,
that's part of the other thing I want.
Yeah, and it's like
know who you're with.
Well, yeah, and how do we go towards a place where women are being included when men are crucified for trying to include women in the first place?
I still don't understand how being called a simp is a bad thing.
Well, that's what I wanted to get into. I wanted to get into that because at first, when that word came out, it was more of a thing where it was, I don't want to say it was like a good term, but now it's turned into a derogatory term. And I know there's people on both sides of the fence. There are women streamers who say that word is fine and they love that they have their viewers as simps. And then there's other content creators and streamers who are saying that's like a derogatory term, and it's used to like BROFISH said, used to crucify somebody who shows even an ounce of support.
Sticking up for women makes you a bad person. Like it's used to basically say that if you stick up for women, it means you want to screw her, which like that in itself sees women only as sex objects.
But that's why I want to just hear your thoughts on that, being as female streamers.
Yeah, I just think that when that's the connotation, if the only reason that people can perceive that you would be nice to a female is because you think you have a chance to screw her, that inherently devalues women so much. Like, that the only reason you could possibly be nice to a woman is because you want to sleep with her. Like, it's just, like, it's awful.
So
ties back to a much bigger problem within the gaming community as a whole, though, because I think in the gaming community as an entirety, we're some of the loneliest fucking people alive. Like, I'm sorry to say that, but we're fucking lonely. And that's the kind of life we live. That's why we go to games, because we're fucking lonely. And that's where the whole thing comes from, because we're lonely. And loneliness, like, it gives into desperation and desperate things that you wouldn't otherwise do.
I think, I'm sorry, go.
Oh, go ahead. It's all right.
You sure?
Like, go ahead.
I'll go to you as soon as I say what I have to say. It 100%, and this connects with what Addie said. This connects with what Brofish said. This connects with, honestly, there was a particular situation with Fox where I was in a Discord, and it was me, Gavin, and Fox. Gavin, I love you. I see you in chat. It was me, Gavin, and Fox, and we were there. We were all hanging out. We were all playing games, and I think we were all playing Crucible or something like that. And like, somebody, I don't know who it was. I don't remember who it was, but somebody said, "Oh, you know, Liv, you're like a fantastic girl gamer." And I was like, "Motherfucker, she's a gamer." What? It's like, pipe down. She's a gamer. And then like I had immediately left, and she texted me later. And I didn't even realize that she was like there listening, but she had texted me later and was like, I appreciate, you know, what you did. And in my mind, and I never told her this, but in my mind, I'm like, what the fuck did I do? Like I had no idea what I did. But that, again, that's the level of ignorance that we as men have in terms of the situation that they as women are experiencing. And I'm saying this particularly to put reference and put emphasis on the importance of, which is going to connect with what Addie said, the importance of men having to stand up consistently. It can't just be once in a while. It can't just be on Tuesdays, or only when it happens where it's in your Discord, or only because I've seen situations to where some guys will sit there and they'll act that way on stream, and then the moment they get off stream, they won't say jack fucking shit. And I'm looking at them like,
like they're doing it for brownie points on sometimes.
It's really they seem nice on stream and then get on Twitter and
then be awful.
It's really a situation to where, again, to put emphasis on everything that you guys are saying and everything that you guys are discussing. Again, as a man, I've personally come up with people, like not in streaming, but I've grown up with friends who were incredibly disrespectful and sexist and horrible to women because they were women, and I said nothing. I experienced these things and I said nothing, and there were situations to where I indulged in the activity, and that was who I was before, right? But who I am now, I can't even fathom the idea of being okay with that, even though I used to do that. So what I'm saying is that when it comes down to that particular characteristic, when it comes down to this particular topic, as men, all the men watching in chat who are sitting there writing in chat like, yeah, Nogi, yeah, MARU preach, yeah, fucking women are right. Y'all gotta put your money.
Give that energy 100% every day.
You gotta put your money where your mouth is.
Keep that same energy.
You gotta maintain that, because y'all know Nogi, y'all know MARU. Y'all are eventually going to know all of these women. If you don't know BROFISH, if you don't know EMPRESS, if you don't know Fox, you're all going to see these women, as well as many women such as themselves. Y'all have to maintain that same energy. Y'all have to consistently keep this exact same shit. And I'm gonna be watching y'all, because I know the phonies. And I'm ballsy. I'm gonna call you out on it in front of your friends and family. You won't have to nut up or shut up, because this is really what it's come. This is what it's come down to. It's unfortunate, but this is what it is now.
And not as some trend that just comes out of this whole like thing that's happening on Twitter of we'll support women for a month and then we'll just go back to the way we were before.
Mm-hmm. And that brings me to a question that I want to ask everyone. Sorry, I'm stealing your role, MARU.
No, you're good.
I want to ask, how do you guys deal with it? Because obviously we know how Nogi's dealing with it now, but how y'all dealing with it? If you get someone coming in with a stupid comment, like, how do you deal with it? Because I think we're gonna differ in here. We're gonna have, because so far we've been agreeing on everything, which, you know, I'm looking for a clash here.
I know. Yeah, I know. Kat likes to disagree with
streaming in
people.
general,
So.
I like to see more sides of the coin. I hate seeing the same side of the coin and keep agreeing on things.
So depending on the comment,
yeah,
I'll either. So if it's extremely offensive, sometimes I don't even see the comment before my mods are on it and ban them.
Right.
Same.
And you've instructed your mods to do that.
They already know. I
Okay.
have never had to turn around and say to my mods, listen, we have to be on the lookout for offensive behavior, things that are against my gender or something like that. Because I have specifically picked my mods because I know that they respect me as a person, not just me as a woman.
Yep.
So they are, and also they're all usually, every single one of my mods they're basically my closest friends.
Yeah.
So, that's that. If it's a stupid ass comment, like, you're a boy or girl, if I do happen to see it, and it's not like hugely offensive, I genuinely take the piss out of them first.
I like sassing.
Yeah, you're just like, oh, that's so cute. That's so, you thought that was gonna hurt. And then, they're either purged or like, here, have a timeout, come back in 10 minutes and see how you feel then. But generally, most of the time, I don't see the comments. I actually have to go into my bot to see, because it'll say like, Garfie's deleted the comment. I'm like, what's happening?
What even was that? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm super nosy. I'm like, what did they say? Okay, it's got to be bad because Garfie's just got rid of it. What's going on? So I'll look and I'll see what it is. And sometimes they can be like really wildly offensive. But sometimes it's literally just, are you a boy or a girl? Oh, you're shit the game. Oh, blah, blah, blah. But I'm incredibly lucky. And I can't believe I have to say this in this kind of term, but I'm incredibly lucky that I don't get an awful lot of people like that. I will get it occasionally, but it is atrocious that I have to describe the fact that I don't get an awful lot of trolls as lucky because of my gender. And it's stupid. It's just literally we either make fun of them, ban them straight out, or time them out. Yeah. It's basically my community is positivity, is good vibes, is having fun, is having a laugh and everything like that. So anything negative that's not worth a discussion. So anything like that, like if people come in with like negative feelings, if they're feeling negative, then that's a whole different ballgame. But anything that's meant to attack me or attack someone in the chat is pretty much gone. And you just treat it like it's not there. Because if you treat it like it's not there, they're just going to get tired of it. Because I have had instances where I have reacted to something really strongly, and then more people have jumped in with it. So it's the classic, you're told as a child. Yeah, exactly. But it's a classic, like, as you're told when you're young, if you're bullied, I'll ignore the bully, they'll go away. Hell no. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes you have to stick up for yourself. But most of the time,
say what it is. Sometimes you gotta beat they fucking ass. Hey.
Yeah, and I think sometimes if you go on too long, like it can drag the mood of chat down, and so you don't want to spend your entire stream. My mom always asks me, she's like, "You're always arguing with someone," and I'm like, "I'm just being sassy," because like that's just how I deal with it. Like maybe I'll make a tweet or something and I'll move on, but like I used to just ignore it. But like Kat, I know, loves to have fun with trolls. She loves, and on Twitch, I think I'm getting more used to having more fun with trolls now. So like, I don't know. I get way more trolls on Mixer than I have ever gotten on Twitch. I think,
which is shocking, by the way.
I have banned maybe 10 people on Twitch in the last month, and I would ban hundreds and hundreds and hundreds on Mixer. Right. And the only person that I banned in the first week of Twitch was a viewer of mine who couldn't deal with the fact that I had switched to Twitch and couldn't stop badmouthing the platform. So the only person on Twitch that I had to ban in my first week was a longtime viewer who just couldn't get over it.
Man, Mixer loyalists are fucking weird.
I don't stream, but
what about you, Jade and Fox?
I don't stream, right?
But when you get the hateful comments online, like how do you react? Do you just ignore it? Do you like come back to it? Like,
I'm not ignoring shit, because if you wanted to bring it to my attention, I'm gonna give you what the fuck you asking for.
Exactly.
So it's like whenever I'm modding in Nogi's channel and someone is being a bitch, ban them. I let everybody know, like, you know, we don't do that in here. You know how I get down. I don't ask no questions. On Twitter, I know a few people in this chat probably have seen me a few times lighting a fire under somebody's ass. But
Girl,
no,
I need to follow you on Twitter.
You need to.
I don't tolerate it at all. I don't give a fuck if, like, because so many times, and even Nagi has said this to me before, he's like, you can't be that way, like, you have to be the bigger person sometime. And I'm like, fuck that. I am being the bigger person. Because if you wanted to come to me and be disrespectful, after this interaction we have, you will never come out your face and be disrespectful to somebody like that again for some bullshit. And I feel like whenever we ignore it or just like, oh, don't pay no mind, it makes it worse because people figure, okay, well, she's not gonna fucking say anything, she's just gonna take it, so I might as well just keep going. Nah, I'm not that bitch.
Yeah, and people ask why women are afraid to come forward about it is because when we do and we're vocal about it, we're called bitch.
Yeah,
and
you could call me a bitch all the time.
I wanted to put emphasis on that, like, right? Because what she said was, and again, what she said was 100% true. I definitely said to her at one point, like, listen, you can't say things like that. You kind of gotta pull it back a bit. You can't react to this and that and the third. And I want to say that I remember I said that at around like 7, 8 o'clock at night. This was maybe 2 years ago because we were living in New York. Day. I remember that day because it was a situation to where she was dealing with something, right? And she had
taken over of Nagi's stream for a little bit while
streaming. She was playing Overwatch. There's a whole story behind it, right? I was streaming. She was playing Overwatch, and something had happened to her in game chat where someone had pushed her well beyond her limit, right? And as she was expressing herself, that was my response. And immediately after that, I was like, why don't you do the, and she, since then we had that conversation, she has been actively looking and trying to pinpoint and find a way to attack this particular situation to where she's creating a community, because even though she doesn't stream, she still wants to create a safe space for women to be competitive gamers. But the reasons why I'm putting emphasis on what she said is because I want people to normalize, not only normalize supporting women, but normalize calling men out on shit. Because since she said that, since she did that, since she told me why she wasn't willing to do X, Y, and Z, to this very day, I have never once told her to hold her tongue under any circumstances, under any scenario. I have never once told her not to put a fucking mud hole in one of y'all asses. I have not to this day, and I express it openly on stream. If she does something, it's because you did something.
Yeah.
I know that.
I want to go a step further with that, actually. Not only calling men out, but if you see women being degrading to other women,
better say some shit.
You better say something. You better say something if you see women being disrespectful to other women. Like, it drives me up the wall when I see like women that are like, I want to be respected in gaming, but I also tear these women down in the same breath. Like, no.
Everybody could get it.
I'm 100% sure that Jade could take me in a fight, like hands down.
Take me in a fight.
I'm starting to become a Jade fan. I'm like a fan now.
She's gonna be streaming soon.
Fox, how do you deal with trolls in your chat?
I feel like I'm kind of in the same boat as Addie, where I'd say like I'm lucky to not have had a lot of trolls actually. There's only one person that we've ever had to ban. It was literally like just a week ago.
Wow. In 6 months of streaming?
Yeah, but I mean, I get like the usual, like guys will come in and like, you know, like comment on my looks, like that will be their first comment or whatever. Like, so nice to see your face. You look beautiful. I saw your Instagram picture, whatever. I just ignore those. Like, I'm just gonna blow those off.
Can I double down on that actually? Like, as a female streamer, I think so. As a male streamer, people will go out of their way to compliment your personality, your gameplay skills. Does it bother you when people's first inclination when they come into your stream and say you're kicking ass in Crucible, you're doing it, you're great, you hit a couple snipes, you got your spare rations out, you're doing all the good stuff, right? And the first thing somebody says is, "Girl, you look fine," but you're doing
so
all
much
of this,
bigger.
You're doing this all of this. You're
So
doing
much
all
bigger
this
than
kick-ass
gaming.
stuff. Like you're doing
That's
all
media.
Thanks, bitch.
You're
Did you see
doing
that
and like,
snipe I
and like
got? Like,
I'll be happy if somebody says that I look nice. But why is your first reaction to go, okay, forget all that gaming stuff that's going on, even if she's playing better than everybody else in the room, your first response is still to comment on her looks.
That is deep-seated.
It's much bigger.
It's very deep-seated.
Oh, yeah.
It's a bigger issue than gaming for sure.
It's a very big issue.
But okay, so I'm gonna actually just on the flip side here.
Yeah.
If someone comes into my chat and it's the first time that they're in, and you know, personally, I have a webcam because I want people to see my reactions because it is.
Right.
And fair enough to those people that have garnered success with no camera, good on you. I don't think I could do it. Okay, but part of the gaming, part of my streaming, is my facial expressions, is my reactions, is you know, the interest and background behind me, and anything like that. But if someone new just comes into my channel and the first thing they say is, "You look fine," I'm gonna be like, "Thanks." And then I'm just going to continue going on with the game because, okay, I'm like, it's going to get really real. It's going to be real for a second. I have low self-esteem.
Yeah.
Okay. And for someone to come into my chat and just be like, "Hey, you look really nice," or "Hey, you look lovely," that actually makes me feel good. You know, there's a difference between that and being constantly hounded.
It's where they go from there. After that comment, the next one is the more important one.
And I think that I definitely feel like maybe we just take it differently because like I have really low self-esteem to the point where I'm incapable of taking like compliments like because I've had so many people take it too far. Every compliment to me inherently seems like it's going to go down that road to the point where it's hard for me to take compliments from people that I don't know.
I can understand that. I can 100% understand.
And it's worth noting that person that comes in chat, that's all they'll say. They won't ask how I'm doing. They won't ask about the game. All they want to do is pop in and say, "You look nice," and then leave. Like that's
or
it.
Sometimes they'll go from "You look nice" to "Want to give me a blowjob?"
Yeah.
You know,
or like,
natural progression.
I've always asking you these things.
I had a guy come into my chat today that came in, and the only thing he said to me was, "I'm mad because this girl I like denied me a blowjob." I'm like, "Denied? Are you entitled to it?"
Suck your dick a lot of time.
I feel like
progression in my chat ever. I've never had someone say one thing and then the next, it's like
No,
the second sentence.
I've had it escalate tons of times where it's like, "Hey girl, how you doing? You look nice today." And I say, "Thank you." And they're like, "Wanna fuck?" The next comment is literally it happens.
That's usually what I say to Nogi when I go to his stream.
Right,
but...
and that's why
Usually I'm okay with it.
And that's why inherently compliments make me nervous because I've seen like where it goes most of the time. And like if I know the person, like I'll have people in my chat that are regulars like Bob or Asakura or Two for the Morgue, and they'll be like, "Fish, you look fine today." I'm like, "Thanks, fam," because like we have that rapport and it's like
I think a big issue though, obviously we've seen, especially I feel like it started in the Destiny community and it kind of went from beyond that, is that you really don't know who you can trust in this community because there's a lot of people that had one face but really were doing a lot of shady stuff in the back. So I can totally get what you're saying, Fish, when somebody comes in and maybe the comment is like a genuine, "Hey, you look nice," and they just feel like commenting that for whatever reason, whatever thought process in their head that they want to say that, but you just don't know what the behind the intention is behind that, where it can just go from 0 to 100.
Can I comment on something that was just said in chat real quick?
Yeah, I want to touch on that.
This gets me so fucking heated.
Where have we said all men? Where in this have we said all men?
I read it. I
missed it.
and I got quiet. I read it and I got quiet until I got to the last sentence, and I was like,
because there's two.
No, don't remove it.
So we're gonna don't remove it. There's gonna be.
Now it's gone, but
it's fine because I see it. I'm in my. I got it. Okay. So there's. So the situation that was what was said will be addressed. It will be acknowledged, right? But there are two things that I specifically want to push topic on. But since we all reacted to the same thing, I'm going to
I'm the only idiot here that didn't see shit.
I will explain it. Gladly.
So
No, I was
there was two
thinking
things that I
if
want to say
should
that
say something, if I should wait.
there was two things that I wanted to discuss that was happening in chat. One is a question pertaining to something that Kano said earlier on the stream. That was a very good topic, but that is going to be second to what was said. So I'm going to read the comment.
Yeah.
I'm going to read the comment, and then everyone, me and Mike, are going to shut the fuck up, and then.
We'll let Fox start because she wanted
right,
to.
because she wanted to address it, and then from Fox we'll go to Kat, then Addie, then Brofish, then Jade. Yeah.
Sounds
so good. The statement that was said was, well, the comment that was said was, and I quote, "You women are telling us men to stop stereotyping women. On the same hand, you are stereotyping us men. As a man, I have found many things said today in this podcast that are highly offensive. I have never done any of the things talked about in this podcast. None of my friends ever behave this way, and I very rarely see this type of behavior on women's streams. I am truly sorry for the experience you women have had, and I wish that you did not have to deal with these things." End quote. Now, let's collect our thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
We're all very, very, very interested in art. We got things.
Hold on. Did he say he took offense?
It's not.
He offended.
It's not for me and you.
He kept saying you women.
Yeah, and he said you women to start it, by the way.
Boy, I'm from Brooklyn. Let's go.
Mike, me and
And
you.
we all gonna take turns. We taking turns.
All right, you go, Fox.
Fox.
Yeah, you
started
go,
out.
Fox.
It's not for.
I'm gonna go take it on and go find this guy on Twitter real quick. You guys do what you gotta do.
Okay.
This
Show me his
This-
history.
Go for it.
literally been said on every single post I've said that I've spoken out on Twitter. The video I made, every time I've said something about girls jumping in the sweat community, there have been multiple people in the comments telling me that they're offended because they don't do that. I'm just gonna compare this to something real quick. Different levels. You literally just all lives matters us. Like literally, that's what you just did. You just slapped us in the face with "I matter" and "I'm offended." The entire point here is that this is happening to us, which he even acknowledged at the end of his comment, and this is what confuses me. You even acknowledge that we're going through these things, that you hear us, that this is happening to us, but in the same breath, you're offended. I didn't call you out. None of us called you out. None of us looked at a single man yet and said, I'm not sitting here saying all men are trash. I'm engaged. I love men. I love my man so much. Oh, I have so many men friends. They're all great. But there are still bad people on both sides. Like we've even said, like Brofish said, when you see a girl saying something, call them out. There are people everywhere who do this shit. It's not just men. It's literally everyone. And you have to call them out when they say something. I'm not targeting you. I'm not targeting men. I don't hate men by any reason. None of us here do.
No.
And it's so like
Literally
triggering and frustrating for us. And it makes us just feel like we're supposed to shut up. Like it's part of the same thing when you're like, oh, now I'm offended that you just spoke your feeling. I'm speaking my feelings. I'm telling you my truth. I'm telling you things that's happened to me and you're offended by it. How is that even possible? Like, oh, that shit just heats me so much. And I don't mean to like, I don't want to make this kid like feel bad or like feel like a terrible person, but like you need to like change your thinking. Like you 100% need to change your thinking.
That's like, that's going down the incel route.
Yeah, let's go to Kat.
Yeah.
That you're slightly going towards the incel route, and that's a very bad route to take in life. Trust me. I love men too, in the same way that all straight women do. And it's like this is the same argument that I had before about Bob and his friend Chad or whatever, talking about how Chad harassed Karen or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. Bob will never know what Chad did. You have no way of knowing if your guy friends are harassing some random women on the internet or even in person. You have no way of knowing that until you actually physically see it. And even if someone tells you, if a woman comes up to you, a woman that you don't know, and she says, look, your bro Chad that you've known your whole life has been doing this and that to me that is super hard to believe and impossible for you to like even muster, you should never immediately think that she's wrong because you know Chad. You don't know Chad and his interactions with women. No matter how good you know Chad, like you're not gonna see this side of Chad. So you should always like treat women who say that shit with at least a little bit of respect and like take their words, and if you have doubts, then look at the hard facts. Look at like what actually happened. Confront that person. Look for the truth. Find the truth. You know, maybe Karen's wrong. Maybe Chad is a good guy. Who knows? You might find out if you look hard enough, but you cannot know without the facts, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I just like if this is time for me to chime in, I just
we'll go to Brofish if you want to go, Addie, and then Jade if you want.
I think the mentality of I don't see it happening, therefore I'm offended is dangerous. The mentality of like you can't in the same breath say I'm sorry for all of the things you have experienced, but then say I have never dealt with this, therefore you are stereotyping. Enough women are coming forward about these issues that we should be acknowledging that they are real issues. Like, I am married. My husband is amazing. He is the most supportive of me as a content creator, as a gamer. Like, I love him. My community is predominantly male. 98% of my friends are male. I love dudes. They're great. They're awesome. Nowhere in this did we say all men. We said these men. The only men that we are referring to are the men that do these types of behaviors. If you are not one of those men, it should not offend you, because you are not doing that behavior. But by saying, I haven't seen it, therefore, if I think it's stereotyping, like,
Man,
I also double down by saying, did I or did I not say, call the women out too? Did I not say call out shitty people in general? I am a big proponent in my streams always of just don't be a shitty person, regardless of whether or not you're male or female. I don't care. Just don't be a dick.
Yeah.
In the same breath, very quickly, you shouldn't, like, part of why I think you said it's dangerous, and like another aspect of this, you should not expect a cookie or an award for being a decent human being.
It should just be a thing that you do.
It reminded me also of the times when, unfortunately, certain UK politicians would go like, oh, there's no racism in the UK because I've never seen it. I'm like,
because you're fucking blind.
What the fuck? It's the same thing.
You know, and I had my eyes opened on Twitter with all of this Black Lives Matter stuff. Like, I'd never seen some of these videos of all this police brutality, and like, fuck me up. I'm like, I can't believe I never saw this. I need to do something. Like I need to speak up about it. I need to, now that I know this is happening. That should be your reaction. I can't be complicit. Your reaction should be, I can't believe this is happening. What can I do to fix it?
Right.
It's not enough to just not be racist. Yeah. You have to be anti-racist. And that's what's going to cause the changes. And it is the same. I don't mean to like I'm drawing kind of parallels. It's the same with attitudes towards women and women in gaming. Now, first off, if you were offended by anything that we are saying right now, then maybe you are not ready for this really uncomfortable conversation. It is we have platforms. It is our job to vocally really come out and talk about all these uncomfortable things that we as women have been through in the industry. And if you're offended, if you're uncomfortable with that, then you're not ready to hear it. Because it angers me so much that you can sit here and you can listen to all of these women telling their stories and be offended by it because we're talking about men. We are not. We're not specifically saying all men suck, all men are assholes, all men do this, that, and the next thing. You know, you may not have done this towards a woman. You may claim that your friends have not done this towards women. But if there is some point in your you do not watch your friends every second. You do not play with your friends every second. If you do, it's probably okay, fair enough. But you are not there to witness every single moment of your friend's interaction with other women. And the streams that this person has been in where they haven't seen it happen in that woman's stream, that's really good. That means that they have fostered a community that is welcoming, that is positive, that does not invite that kind of toxicity. But if you are going to sit there for 1 second and tell me that you are offended because we are calling out the disgusting shitbags of men, then get the fuck out my face, because I ain't here for it. You can fuck right off. Because I'm sorry, but it angers me so much.
Don't apologize for nothing.
There's nothing to be
Said
sorry
that, don't
for.
apologize. I just laughed because how you said it was just really funny. That was.
But if you're going to sit there and tell me that you are offended because of the woman's experiences, then you have no place talking about any of it. You don't have an opinion on the things that women go through because you haven't gone through it. You're not a woman. You do not have to face this bias, these stereotypes. Yeah, I'll say it. We have stereotypes that we have to fight against. If you think we are stereotyping typical men, then you don't know what stereotyping means.
Exactly.
It's as simple as that. Sorry, I got a little bit heated.
No,
It goes with like. Go ahead, Nagi.
That's exactly why we want you guys to be able to express yourselves holistically and realistically. And I'm gonna I just want to express that there is no restrictions on anything that any of you are saying. Period. Point blank. If there's someone in chat who is offended by it, mods, myself included, depending on what they say, we'll decide if we address it as a community and as a conversation.
Yeah, Rilla took that out with the swiftness.
But obviously, you know what I'm saying? But moving on, Jade, go ahead, gangster.
I'm more confused at how mans typed a whole paragraph, read it, sent it, and still thought like that was okay. First off, don't ever in your life you can refer to women as you women.
Yeah, you
okay?
women. My God.
Because you sound like a fucking dumbass. It concerns me for you to feel offended about us speaking on the shit that we've experienced and the shit that continues to go on. Because that makes me wonder if you do like that and you just don't see something wrong with it. Because for you to say that, oh, me and my friends don't do it, so I'm really offended that you said these things about men. If you're so fucking offended, then why don't you go and speak to the men that is doing it and then fix it so we wouldn't have to have these discussions? Who in here telling us we hurt your feelings today? You fucking kidding me? You have to deal with death threats,
dick pics.
You have to deal with people. I don't want to see your soggy ass dick in my DM. Like shit like this.
No one
have to deal with.
Yeah,
No.
I shouldn't have to log on to the PlayStation Network. Like
I'll be
so
honest, comfortable.
You would expect the first time you see a dick to be with someone you want to be with, right? I had that stolen from me. The first dick that I saw was from some random. He said, "I like your stream. Do you like this?" And the first 2 dicks I saw were from random dudes on the internet. I wanted my husband's dick to be the first dick.
That's what I'm talking about. It's
I
like
don't get to have that now.
I'm even being comfortable enough to be like, you guys offended me today. Look, we already warned you about what the fuck this podcast was gonna be. That makes me feel like you came in here offended anyway because you don't like seeing women or people in general talk about what the fuck that they go through.
Yeah, it's supposed to be an uncomfortable conversation.
Right, and we did not offend all men because the hosts of this damn podcast are men. A good chunk of people in this chat are men. People who are in our communities are men. Okay,
all of my mods,
we did not offend any. We did not reference all men, and all the real men in here who are aware of what we're going through are fully aware. So if you are too damn sensitive, fucking deal with it. Then you could fold your dick back up and go sit in a damn corner because this is what we're talking about today and every day after that. Okay.
So here's a question. First of all, preach. Here's a question I have though, and this is, I feel like there might be people on different sides of this. So when it comes to a person's views and mentality on certain things, I do believe that part of it, a big chunk of it, is the fact of how they're raised. And when they have that mentality growing up, starting at a young age, and they have that whole mentality until they get to a certain age, where do you guys cut the line of like, okay, I get that you were raised like this, but there's a certain part where you had to take responsibility for what you have? Or is it really just that they're so indoctrinated that they just can't get out of that at that point?
People can change.
Can I take that one?
I
first,
want you all. I want you
if
all to
anyone-
take it. So whoever wants to take
yeah,
it first.
I was very eager. I do apologize. I meant first, not like to overshadow everyone.
No, you're good.
No.
Because I come from Eastern Europe originally. I grew up there, and when I was 18, I moved to the UK. And those are two very different cultures. Like the culture that I come from is very much what people would call communist incels, I suppose. So I was raised in an environment that was like that. I was raised in an environment where people would not necessarily be super sexist, because women in Eastern Europe have learned to take that shit and like make something with it, and they're fucking hardcore as fuck. Like if you've ever met a Russian woman, you know what I'm talking about. They will cook you. They will like crush your fucking nuts, okay? Because they've had to go through that shit their entire lives. And the thing is, I come from a culture that sees that as normal and was like super normalized to have social statuses and blatant racism, and coming into a country where that is like very much bad, at least I fucking hope it is, and like promoting equality for everyone, which I very much support. And the kind of culture shock that I had to go through made me a better person, but I had to go through it. There was a period where I had to learn that everything I've been taught is wrong, and I had to turn it like 360. I had to make a complete turnaround, and just accepting that these things that I've been taught since I was a child are completely wrong. And it's a very crushing experience, because it crushes everything you know inside of you, and you kind of reach like a very nasty bottom where you realize that you're not as amazing as you thought you were. Your pride, your ego goes to like the bottom, and you have to admit that. You have to accept that, and you have to be like, look, I want to learn. Once you admit that you have to learn, that's where you start. That's like the first step. That's level 1. You've admitted that you have to learn. I had to do that with like a lot of racist problems as well, and I've been getting very much educated, especially with the Black Lives Matter movement, because I like that education. I come from a country where there's no other race than white people. Like there's nothing. I've had zero exposure, and I've had to learn so much, and I'm so grateful for people that have been educating me, close friends, as well as the internet, on what I have to do to make a difference, like as a single person, what I have to like, what is the right reaction, just like what is the right reaction when you see sexism happening. You have to accept that you're wrong.
The thing that made me immediately want to go next, and again, I feel like I have to repeat the fact that this is not about my insight on anything, because I am a man, and what we are talking about I know nothing about. I'm putting emphasis that I don't know shit. I'm just here to support. But what she had expressed is something that means a lot specifically to me, because in response to your question, Mike, it's crazy how slippery of a slope the answer to that question is, right? Because yes, having to be raised in a specific way definitely has, everyone on this planet is a product of their environment. Right? Everyone on this planet is a reaction to what they've experienced. People who have, I'm pretty sure that some of us have expressed it. I'm expressing it. I personally have a severe amount of low self-esteem. I just have this weird imbalance in my brain to where I don't feel like I'm anything, but I care a lot less about how you feel about me more than can't nobody hate me more than me. That's my response, right? Now, I say that because in regards to that particular question, right? As an adult, as I got older, I started to see things that naturally rubbed me the wrong way. As a kid, saying things that were disrespectful to women didn't bother me. As I got older, I started asking myself, like, why am I okay with this? Why is that? Why are you saying that? Why am I condoning it? Like, I started feeling differently, right? So yes, there's a variable to where you are a product of your environment and you are taught to be a certain way, whether it's sexism or racism or whatever the case may be, right? But then after you hit a certain point, it's not a situation to where you could really blame it on your past, because at that point you have a choice to think differently. It even happens within teenage to younger adult years. Like the moment you hit 16, 17, where somebody can't really control how you think or tell you how to think or persuade you how to think or influence you how to think, it has a very little effect on you. And there are some people who are stuck in their ways, right? But as you get older, even still, you can't, I cannot say that me being sexist at 27 years old is somebody else's fault. That's horseshit. That's horseshit.
Absolutely.
Now, they're also pertaining to specific situations that she stated, to where if you are someone who is that type of individual, and you are someone that understands the aspect that you do need to change. I myself have, and I tell you guys all this all the time, I openly express how much of a terrible human being I have been up until recently. I have not always been this way. The Nagi you guys know today is not the Nagi that I've always been, right? I have sacrificed and I have lost many things because of my own doing, and only recently have I started expressing that I need to change. And it does make you feel, think about that. You build yourself up to be this particular individual, only to find out that once you got all of that shit built up, it's built on shambles and lack of stabilization, to the point to where you have to tear it all the way down, and you are bare, raw, and irritated because you are literally looking at yourself in the mirror and realizing how shit you've been. Now you have
Amen.
So it's a scenario to where, yes, there are variables. Yes, there are things to which you are a product of your environment, but at the end of the day, you ultimately have 100% of the choice to be a decent human being. And just like Fox said, you don't get a fucking cookie for it.
Now I have a quick question, because Fox, you, correct me if I'm wrong, you take psychology, right?
Yeah, I went to school for clinical psychology.
Yeah, so what yeah, I think we all need therapists. So, but what's your thoughts on something like that, where you're, it's like what is it called, nature versus nurture? Is that the right term for it?
I have a lot to say about this topic, I guess. Both from just a strictly psychological standpoint, and then from my own experiences standpoint. Everything that we would say is wrong, like racism, sexism, domestic violence, abuse habits, things like that, are a cycle. They start as soon as a person sees it as an example and it's lifted up in their mind as something that's an okay thing. Yes, it is obviously up to you to change it, but someone at some point has to break that cycle, and pretty much everyone in their entire life has had someone come forward and tell them you shouldn't do that at some point in your life. That's where it becomes up to the person to actually listen to that person, decide to change their mindset or to continue ways.
I'm getting emotional. I'm gonna walk away. I'm listening.
So it is very much like influenced by their environment, how they're raised, all that kind of stuff. Because as we've already seen, like when you're a little kid, no one is racist or sexist. Like no one thinks any of that stuff or has any of those inherent bias. All those things are environmental. And this is where like I start to try to put my own experience into it, try to like use that to teach other people and also like learn more myself, because I by no means like fully understand it completely. But our environment, this whole sexism thing, racism thing, like everything we've talked about today is such a bigger issue than just gaming. And I hope that people realize that this goes so much further, because as Kat just talked about, she grew up in a completely different environment than I did, and yet we still had similar biases taught to us. I was born in America. I grew up in a Southern conservative Christian family. Dear God, if there was not sexism literally everywhere I looked, like I had to do my damnedest to break out of it, to actually like speak about it and like tell things that were wrong. I literally felt like until I got with my fiance that I have now, like he was the person who broke that for me, told me that stuff was wrong.
Yep.
Thankful for him, very much so. I literally would get anxiety attacks about having cleavage around his grandparents or showing like wearing a tank top or stuff like that. And now, like since then, I'm sitting here in a tank top like in front of however many people, like, but that kind of stuff was stuff that I was taught since I was a little kid. Like it was my fault that I looked inappropriate, or that people talked to, like, if a guy approached me, it was probably my fault because I was in shorts or a tank top. And then also just growing up, like, not saying that all religion is bad by any means, but the section that I was in, I guess, I was always told, like, women can't be pastors. And if you ask why, it's like, just women can't be in leadership.
Oh yeah, and like I grew up Catholic, and the shame of being comfortable with your sexuality or your body was, whoo.
Yeah.
I was so insecure about being like, and I have a very happy marriage now, you know, I'm very happy, but the stigma against being comfortable with your sexuality was so bad for me that, like, I still struggle with feeling like it's okay to want to be a sexual being, if that makes sense. Like, I still struggle with the fact that it's okay to have the same human desires that people would say is just boys being boys. Like, the same sort of, like, to have the same kind of feelings and experiences that are normalized for men, but, like, we also feel this inherent shame. Like, like the extent of my sexual education as a person growing up in a Catholic school was, don't do it ever until you're married, ever. So, like, they literally didn't teach us shit. We watched a birthing video.
Yeah, it was the same way.
We watched a birthing video and we're told, don't do it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so sorry you had to go through that.
My parents, thankfully, to their credit, were very helpful with all of that, but I still am not comfortable for the most part, even though, like, I've been married for a year. Like, we live long distance, so that doesn't help either. But this whole, like, just not being comfortable because of how I was raised, or because of not even from my parents, but just I grew up in a very small town, less than 7,500 people. Pretty sure I was the first girl in my town to build a gaming PC, let alone to really play video games on a huge level. I don't know if there's any other streamers in my town I'm pretty sure I might be the only full-time broadcaster in my whole town, like, let alone female broadcaster. Like, I grew up in such a small, sequestered place that, like, had to hide that I played video games for years. Guys inherently told me I would never fit in if I played video games. I hid the fact that I played video games from most of my friends and my athletics teams because I played a lot of sports. And if I talked about anime or video games or any of that, I was told that it was weird. So I hid a huge part of my life until I was in college, and I never really got to and it made me have such low self-worth in so many aspects in my life, and streaming finally helped me to be the person that I'm happy being today.
I don't want to dive from this conversation, but I do want to, in the interest of time, get to some questions that people were asking that I have here, and we'll go in order, that way everybody has a chance to comment on it. So one of the questions I have here from Twitter is, what do you feel is specifically necessary to gain the interest and confidence of women wanting to compete at the highest levels?
Acceptance,
yeah.
Just
no inherent bias that they have to work twice as hard to be just as good. Like, just treating them as equals.
To be a woman in esports. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. All I was gonna say was that not only Sweats is currently such a male-dominated arena that not only do you just have to be you have to be more than accepting to make women more comfortable in that arena. You have to go out of your way, like, to adamantly declare, to just shout it from the rooftops that we welcome women into the Sweat community, and you have to be really, really hardcore and crack down on those people that would look down upon women for joining the Sweat community. You have to make it an open, a public space, and you have to make sure that it is a safe space, because the last thing that a woman wants to do is, you know, be encouraged to go into the Sweat community. Suddenly everything's okay. Suddenly she's approached inappropriately by a man and she reports it and nothing's done about it. You have to make sure that it is accepting, it is a safe space, and that they are going to be judged solely on their gameplay, not the fact that they have different genitalia.
Yeah, and I think the other thing too is calling it out in your community. Like, you see that all the time, is men are complicit in it. Like, I don't want to ban. Well, you know, I won't ban this person from my community because it wasn't said in the woman's chat, so I just won't ban them. Like, people are so afraid to, like, speak up about it in their channels, I think, as men, because they're afraid of losing viewership.
Call it out. And as a woman who wants to get into that, you have to have some degree of tenacity and a lot of passion for it, more so than your male counterparts, because otherwise you would just not survive it. You would just not get there. That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
I think you have to have more passion than your male counterpart to actually do this specific thing in a game. You have to be so passionate that you can get past all of the shit that is going to get thrown at you, because it will inevitably happen.
So I have a quick question for Fox and Jade, adding on to that. Do you think it's beneficial or more harmful to have maybe a female-only tournament for sweats? Just to be able to showcase more women playing this game.
Yeah. Well, to answer the first question first, I agree with what everyone else said, but I also think like the weirdness needs to be gone completely. Like I want to just be treated like an actual human being. If I'm shit, call me shit. If I need to get better at something, tell me I need to get better at something. If I did great, hype me up. Like just complete equality. Do the same thing you would do for your bros. Like do the same thing for women who are in that community. As far as all girls sweats and all girls tourneys go, I think long term it could potentially start to be something that would be seen as not beneficial, because then I could see people being confused as to why there's not a very specific all guys tourney, and that's something I would never want to see. I don't want that inequality, same way as I just stated with the other thing. But for right now, it's kind of like this house is on fire. Like I'm sure you guys have seen that on Twitter. Like, this house is on fire. This is what we're trying to do to put the fire out. So for this time being, I think it is beneficial to try to get people more comfortable with that, and also to get more girls comfortable with it, and then integrate that into being.
So your end goal is one space where everybody coexists.
But I agree with that.
At the end of the day,
Yeah.
that's what I would want, and like I agree that has to start with an inclusive space, but I think it can eventually move into a space, hopefully, where everybody just feels like they can just coexist. I hope, at least.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
Well,
historically, women on the
Jade wanna
games
say?
have done very bad. Yes,
Yeah, Jade, coming from like Destiny and specifically Overwatch, what are your thoughts on that? Because I know you watch tourneys. I know you and me were repping when Overwatch had that Overwatch League. So
yeah, for that, like I agree that an all-inclusive tourney would be a stepping stone, but at the same time, it's just like for example, I don't know if you guys know Fran, but Fran is a big streamer in the Overwatch community. She's a woman, and she has community tourneys, the Community Cup that she recently started, and it's still predominantly male. And even though we're calling the tournaments and things like that all women, all inclusive, it's like all we've seen all these years have been only men in these tournaments. I feel like I don't think it should be something looked down upon if we just had a few cups where it's strictly women showcasing their skills, because we've been forced to see only men in every tournament. Like the Overwatch League has how many teams, and it's one woman, the fucking league. Gears of War had how many cups? There has been no women from what I could remember from teams. Same thing with Halo. It's like I hardly ever see any women in competitive scenes, and they could even be, like on a team or in a clan, and they still won't be included on your tournament. So I feel like, yes, we most definitely need to start off with strictly being like, no, we're having this for women to showcase their skills and build each other up. And then hopefully we'll be able to have tournaments where this team coincidentally has all women against this team that coincidentally has all men. Either way, like we have to start somewhere, where it becomes normal. But I feel like having it inclusive the long term would just be more harmful than good, because we're still separating everything.
Yeah, Kano said
That's
the same thing.
That's not what we want.
Kano said the same thing in chat, that it's just creating a bigger wall. So I have one more question. I know you guys were eager to answer, and then we'll start doing the little wrap up. And we'll do it in order again, so everybody has a chance. Kat, we'll start with you. I know Brofish is really, really eager to answer this question.
I give the first spot to Brofish because I took the last one.
Okay, Brofish, you want to start off? So this is the question for everybody. And I personally, I don't take offense to this question. I don't think I don't think the person meant this in an offensive way.
Oh, of course not.
But I think I get where you're coming from because we had talked about it before. But he stated, does being a woman streamer have any advantages than being a male streamer?
I think the reason I want to address this is, again, in the question, there's an inherent confirmation bias because he could just say, what are the differences? But he said, what are the advantages of being a female streamer? Which inherently means to me that this person thinks that there is. Because otherwise he would say, what are the advantages of being a male streamer? And the reality is, as an answer, more clicks initially, and that's really about it. Like, in terms of advantages, I can think of infinitely more disadvantages than there are advantages, and that inherently answers the question in itself.
There is no advantages. There are none. Zero. None.
The advantage is that you might get more clicks on your channel in the short term, but if those people are only there because they see you as an object or as whatever, then it's not an advantage. It's not an advantage to get more clicks if those people don't see you as a person.
And they're not going to stay anyway.
I mean, maybe that our personalities are relatable and welcoming. That might be the only thing that I can think of, because I've gotten that compliment before, that my personality is very welcoming. But inherently, I think we have way more disadvantages than we have advantages because there are so many barriers that people keep putting in front of our path. So.
I agree. There is no inherent advantage to being a woman streamer than there is a male streamer. Both women and men start with 0, unless you are very lucky and you know someone, or you've made such. So I know a female streamer actually who started off in the Twitch community and just was there for like 3 or 4 years before she actually started streaming herself. And because she became such an integral part of the community. When she started, she didn't start at the 0. She already had a ton of people around her. She already had that community.
Mm-hmm.
You do
or
not...
people who have a following on another platform.
Yeah.
Or another, like TikTok or YouTube.
But they put in the work. They put in... The same thing happens
Yeah.
for male streamers. If, I have a friend who started streaming, and the reason he was initially very successful was because he was a moderator on the Gearbox forums. So when he started streaming, they said, oh my gosh, Gathalion, you should stream some you should stream some Borderlands sometime because you are a streamer. You're a moderator on the Gearbox forums, so you should stream. And he started streaming because people told him he should stream. So he started, and he brings this up a lot, is he started with an audience because he put the groundwork in to be part of the community first. And I think that can happen for both men and women. Mm-hmm. If that is the, but that doesn't rely on gender, right? That's whether or not you take the time to actually get involved in the community or not. And that also, in itself is work. It is work to be involved in a community.
So I think that there are inherently more disadvantages when you get into streaming than there is for women than there is for men. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yes, sure. It is super difficult to get into the streaming world. It is super difficult to become successful. And about 98% of the people on Twitch will never get to a stage where they can continuously financially support themselves just purely from Twitch. It is a fact of life. Not everyone is going to become a ninja. Not everyone's going to become a goth. Okay.
It's less than 1%. That make a living out of it.
Yeah, exactly. There's only a few. There is a few people that can make this financially. Okay, that is awesome. Okay, just purely by focusing on Twitch. Okay, there are plenty of people that have become really successful, not just on Twitch, but because they've produced more content that have gone on to different platforms. It has nothing to do with the fact whether we have tits or not. If we've got more advantages. Okay, it's got nothing to do with it. It has got everything to do with if you have a good personality. If you grow your community the right way, if you start to, one thing that I was told and that I will always preach, to have a good streaming career, you have to grow that core community. Do not focus on numbers. Do not focus on anything else. You focus on the core community first, and everything else will fall into place. It sounds easy, but it is it's an awful lot of work. I can tell you, every single streamer, every full-time streamer puts the time where they do the least work to do with streaming is when they're actually streaming.
Yep.
Everything else, like you will have like maybe you will stream for 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours, whatever. That period of time can actually be your off time from the streaming, networking business that you have to do. And I find that there is I've been very smart about it, not to toot my own horn, but I have always surrounded myself with people that I think are good people, that don't normally base their opinions on the fact whether you are female or if you are male. But there are people that do it, and there are people that broadcast themselves to specific corners, to specific niches. You know what I mean? But I'm going on a bit of a tangent. Apologies, but there is more disadvantages as a streamer than advantage as a woman streamer than there is a male streamer. You have to deal, like we've talked about it throughout this entire podcast. There is so many stereotypes that you have to fight against just to get to a stage where you can feel relatively successful. And I will say this again, I am not diminishing the fact that men have to put in the work too. There is so much work that has to be put together as a whole. But women do not have an advantage. They do not. And if you turn around and tell me that women do, I swear to God, if I find you, I'll punch you in the goddamn mouth. Because you don't know shit.
I like that.
You don't, like, to put it in perspective, if you had a females can harass men. Women can harass men. It's 100%. Right? If you had a woman come into a stream and the main focus that they wanted to see was like you with your top off, or you show your muscles or whatever.
It does happen, by the way.
Yeah, I hate that too.
It absolutely does happen.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't see that at a regularity than you do some random coming in a women's stream and saying, show your tits. You never see that. You do not see. I mean, you do see it, but you do not see it at the regularity that you do with treating women like sexual objects. And the only reason that you're there on the screen is to show some intimate part of themselves.
Not only do you not see it, but not only do you see it more often in women's streams, but the reasons why you don't see it broadcasted, or the reasons why you don't see it because people are not open to talk about it, are two completely different reasons. Mm-hmm. Men are less likely to talk about their experiences because they'll be ridiculed and made fun of as
I hate that
weaker. Or
I hate that.
You're lucky to have this and a third. Whereas women to be like, oh, you deserved it. It's two completely different demographics. Both are completely disgusting and disrespectful.
Yep.
But the spectrums are completely different. And I'm gonna, again, as a man, and I don't care if I offend anybody out there to say this, and I'm so sorry because I know that we were all asking questions because I know we're getting ready to wrap up. But as a man, I will more willingly defend myself against somebody else calling me soft because I wasn't open to discuss what happened to me with a woman than have someone I know or someone I care about who is a woman not be able to express how they feel because they won't be believed. You'll believe me to say that I was sexually assaulted, but I'm a pussy because I'm talking about it and I didn't like it. But you won't believe her because she's a woman. You'll more likely not believe that it happened, and if it did happen, well, what did she do to cause it? Bullshit. But I'm sorry. Continuing on with the question. Who was next? That was Addie. BROFISH went.
Let's go with Jade, and then we'll have Fox wrap up, and then I have one last question, and then we'll do the wrap up.
Cool.
Can I say a little thank you to everyone, like that guy who had a bad comment come in here, because the point of this talk is to be seen by people like him, people who don't agree and feel offended by this talk. I feel like that's the purpose of this talk, to be seen by these people so that we can spread awareness and education to people who don't necessarily have that. I'm grateful that these people are here.
Because we won't be having these discussions if it wasn't for assholes like you.
Yep.
I do not think there's any advantages to being a woman streams, because people think we get more attention when the attention that we do get is negative majority of the time. I don't stream, well, as Nagi would like to put, yet, but even when I'm on Twitter, I'm always really vocal in his community. I have my little community of my own on Twitter, and it's just a situation where, because I'm a woman, I am going to have people challenging me, challenging my knowledge on things, challenging my skill on things. And a lot of the times that is extremely discouraging. It makes me not want to post my clips up. It makes me hesitant to stream because of what I would deal with. Like Nagi, like I would help him. I'll give him ideas. I'll be in his community all day, every day. And knowing that the things that he does doesn't get backlash for it or hate for it, knowing that I will get that automatically from a man just because I'm not a man, that is extremely discouraging, and that's the problem. I don't know where this whole idea came from that, oh, women have it easier. You could get a big following really fast. Oh yeah, you have titties. Okay, like that's not what I'm streaming for. Yeah. If I really wanted to get attention or money or showing my tits, then I'll be in a different profession. That's just not what I'm doing. So if I'm sitting here gaming and trying to make a community from this, like I'm putting in the same amount of work as you are. I'm having to put 110% and only get half back. Just because I'm a woman and I don't have a man being like, hey, I'm gonna co-sign this. You know, everybody jump on the bandwagon, everybody follow her. Like men don't see that. And I don't want to sound like an asshole, but we all know a man asks that motherfucking question. Because just like BROFISH said, if it was a situation where they wasn't really focusing on us being a woman and having and body parts being an advantage, they would have been like, well, what's the advantages of being man in this industry? What disadvantages do you guys feel and see being for friends, people in your raid team, people who you're cool with on Twitch? Like, what do you guys see them overcoming and you guys can't? Like, I feel like that question would have been worded so much better if they just took a step back, really thought about it, and really took the time to see other streamers, not just like titty streamers that they probably follow on Twitch, but to really take time and see other people in the community. I feel like that question would have been worded and formulated way better than it was.
100%.
Definitely.
I definitely just like agree with pretty much everything that was just said. I don't think there's an advantage at all to being a female and streaming. And something that said, like BROFISH said earlier, may I get more clicks because I'm a girl? Yeah, but my retention rate is so much worse. Like, and I just want like people who question that and say that like, oh, you get views or clicks or whatever because you have tits. To what advantage is it to me?
Yeah.
That some dude comes into my chat for 2 minutes, jerks off, and how is that helping me?
Those aren't the kind of viewers that I think any of us really want.
No, that is nasty.
We don't want that shit anyway. Like, yeah, we may get more viewers of that type, but that's not the kind of community we want anyway.
No, it's not helping me in any way. Like,
yes, classic, finish in 2 minutes.
And I just too like. I think it's important people very quickly like blow off like, oh, it was just kind of worded wrongly, the question, like it's not a big deal. That is something that is a big deal though. And I think that's something that people need to pay more attention to, because it's the same thing like with Cliff said earlier, where people just be like, oh, you're good at gaming for a girl. That's a big deal. That was not worded correctly.
That's inherently so shitty. Like, oh, you're good for a girl. Can I not just be good?
Yeah.
Can I
And
knock
just
you out
because
as
you
soon as I
didn't mean
can?
it that way doesn't mean it wasn't right.
Can I like you as a guy? Can I fuck you up as a dude? I could do that. I could do that. And I
Yeah,
know
but you
for
see
a
how
fact
weird
that
that sounds when you have to add, like as a man, as a
Yeah.
dude. Would this be weird? Like a fucking
It's a-
human being, I'm good at this game. I just beat your ass. Like that's just what it is. Like I don't understand why me being a woman has to be such a heavy hitting key point for you, whether you support me or not.
Right, and that automatically dives into literally everything that we're saying, because even though this conversation is based off of the aspect of our particular perception of the industry that we follow, it's in literally every industry. It's in law school, it's in law firms, it's in banking, it's in politics. Like it's across the board in every single area, and it's honestly it's low key terrifying, because you sit there and you look at these situations and you watch this particular scenario occur, and while you're watching this particular scenario occur, it really has to dive deep into finding a solution, because like Addie said, there has to be consistency. Like Brofish, Jade, and Fox said, it has to do with the fact that you have to be open and vocal about it. You can't take anybody's bullshit. Like Kat said, there has to be a lot of statistics in the terms of information to prove that what you guys are saying is not just horse shit. And it's up to men, and I'm saying this as a man, like I said, it's up to men to be able to look at the scenario and honestly, and this is also another particular situation. Take your fucking ego out of it.
Yeah.
And right? Be a leader, be a representation, be an influencer. There be people in this channel, in this chat, that be having hundreds, 200s, 300s of people, and y'all not saying jack shit. Y'all sitting there, y'all getting the money, y'all getting your Twitch paychecks every month, y'all paying y'all bills and doing this, and the third. But you're at the end of the day, you're an influencer. At the end of the day, yes, it's gaming, so it's not really all that serious. It's meant for entertainment. People are there to escape. But you're also influencing a ton of people watching you and supporting you. They're supporting your dreams. So yes, you want to be able to receive and retain that support. But am I willing? I'm not the type of individual that will want that support and be supported by people who are living a lifestyle that I personally would not represent. That's, to me, and I know this may be a really brash terminology, that's blood money. I don't fuck with that, right? I don't want people who feel comfortable in my community being pieces of shit in secret, giving me any type of support so that I can put food on my table for people that I love and respect. That's bullshit. I'm not taking that. I don't want to keep your coins. I'm okay, right? Fuck off. My point is that as men, remove your ego. Remove your ego. Stop giving a shit about who's $5. $5. It's $5. It's $5. I'm not talking about the tier 2s and the tier 3s. It's $5. One person walking away, oh, you support women, you're a sip. I'm not gonna sub here. Fuck off. Beat me. Beat it. Skedaddle. Fucking daddle, bro. I don't need it. Bye. Because at the end of the day, I want to be able to sleep at night. And I like the person that I am. Take your ego out of the situation. Stop being pussy and stand up for the right thing. Stand up for the right thing. That's what it comes down to. Stand up for the right thing. These are women. These are human beings. They're human beings at the end of the day. It don't matter what's between their legs. And let's be really honest. And I'm talking about the Destiny community here, right? How many people play Destiny? It's a lot of people, right? It's a lot of people. You really think that every single person that's in your lobby is just dudes? That person that outplayed you, that person that world like that. Nah, dog, you got 3 taps. You got 3 taps. The likelihood of that being a female,
or the collats,
or collats, yeah.
You wanna go, bro?
You wanna go?
Listen.
I was the only woman there, by the way. I was the only woman there. But did I not compete with players that play Destiny on a pro level in that moment?
Her, Crafty, Van White, Lupo,
and Nexus.
We're all playing in a Crucible match, and she catches the first collat. Literally the entire room, uproar. Developers, streamers, PvP players watched. I was one of them. I took the bullet.
You took the bullet. Wait, did it go through Crafty's head first and then into your head?
want to give you too many specifics.
But anyway, I collabed Crafty and Nogi, and Buttwipe and Lupo are on my left and my right. And, like, that's the kind of energy that we should see all the time. They didn't care that I was a girl. They cared that I made a fucking good shot, and they gassed me up for the whole rest of the day. And that's what I want to see all the time.
Because it was a clean shot. We can't get rid of it. It was a clean shot. But that's the whole point of it, right? That's the whole aspect. Stop being so fucking pressed about supporting this whole simp shit. If you get bothered that somebody's calling you a simp because you're standing up for someone that's a human being, you're fucking weird. And you really need some self-reevaluation that you need to take care of. You need some real meditation, and you need to sip some tea and smoke some pot. Do something. Do whatever it takes to fucking get your shit. You got some other shit that's really inside of you that you need to get out. Now, again, my point is exactly like Empress said, because I started ranting. Exactly like Empress said, it's unfortunate that has to be said. It's unfortunate that men find it normal to say and word things without thinking first when it comes down to trying to find out information in terms of what they deal with. At the end of the day, listen. That's really what it comes down to. Listen when they speak. Listen when the women are talking about their hardships. Because we don't know what they're going through. We can only listen. We can't 100% understand because we don't know what it feels like to be in their shoes. We can only learn and make ourselves available and put ourselves into a position to where we can do better and defend the goals that they're trying to obtain. Is that hard? Yes. You so fast about it? No. Fucking man up. You be out here playing trials in 1v3 and you can't fucking support a homie that just ends up being a lady? Better rip a Glock.
I think that, and I want to wrap it up in the interest of time because I don't want to hold you guys to do whatever you got to do. So I think the main thing that we can do as males is make sure that we are supporting the women streamers. I think we need to make sure that we're calling out women streamers and or just women and male in general if they are displaying some type of behavior where it's like, yo, that's not cool. But I think in all things that we kind of got to work on, we really got to start with ourselves first. And once you get yourself in a good place mentally and emotionally, and then you got to put that change out in the world. So I think, before you even try to do anything else, make sure that your spirit and your energy is right so that you can put that energy out there and fix these issues. Because these are big issues. I mean, it's important that there's a lot of women out there who are feeling this type of way and literally can't play a fucking video game because they're going to be harassed. And the most basic thing that they want to do is play a video game, and they can't even enjoy that. And I think that's definitely a crime, and it definitely needs to be fixed 100%. But one last question, really quick. We'll start with Cat Life, real quick. What is one thing that you would like to see change, or one piece of advice you want to give to somebody to see this change happen?
One thing I can say, only one. I had two in mind.
Only one.
Okay.
Got only one.
Only one. You only get one.
My only one, from my perspective, would be I want to see developers supporting that change. I want to see developers take a stand instead of being neutral about it.
Mm-hmm.
Addie,
because that will encourage encourage a grand change in the community. They are the people that can change the community the fastest and in the best way.
Got it. Addie, what about you?
Educate yourself. So literally, just you take 2 seconds, sit down at a bloody computer, Google something, educate yourself. Don't
Google porn.
Get out of your Pornhub tab and Google some education.
You know what? Just mute it. Just pause it and mute it, and go back to it afterwards. That's cool. Don't give a shit if you're watching Pornhub. But the first thing that you need to do, if you're called out on something, if you're called out on toxic or sexist or even hell, we'll go racist behavior, the first thing that you should do is, if you turn around and say, if you're called out for something, you are doing something wrong. And the first thing that you should do, if you're a good human being, is educate yourself on why what you did was wrong, and you need to learn to do better. Better yourself. Educate yourself. You can always be a better person. No person in this world is perfect. No person in this world has never done anything wrong, okay, as an adult. So go ahead and educate yourself.
BROFISH, what about you?
I think we all make mistakes. I think the important thing is to be the change that you wish to see in the world and be willing to admit that you're wrong and be willing to grow. Don't be stagnant.
Jade?
Definitely geared towards women who have felt discouraged because of the experience that you had, including me. I will take this piece of advice once we get out of here. Don't let these things tear you down and stop you from pursuing the things that you genuinely love and want to be a part of. In order for things to change, you need more women, more people, more allies to be a part of it and completely be ready to stand up against the bullshit that we deal with and work right through that shit.
And last but not least, Fox?
I would say probably challenge yourself. Drop the assumptions you think you have about you being perfect or your friends being perfect. Actually challenge your way of. I'll be the first to admit that I'm someone who's had to do that too, with everything going on. Like, look for bias, look for ways of thinking that could be wrong in yourself. Fix them there before you try to correct them.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so first I want to thank you guys for coming on to the show. I think this was an amazing conversation. You guys completely killed it. I had no worries at all. We only had really one troll in chat, which it gives me some faith, in humanity that we're not all douchebags. But yeah, I just want to thank you guys for taking the time, having these conversations, and supporting each other and sharing out the views. So I just want to thank you guys. For the viewers, when we end the show, we always like to do a little thing where we do a shout out for somebody. I always start it out, we go through the guests, and then Nogi finishes it up. Again, I just want to thank everybody who came on, supported, gave out those great messages, had some amazing insights and questions to ask. I appreciate all of you. So for me, my shout out this week is going to be in the spirit, since we're talking about women. I just want to shout out my wife, who is completely amazing. And I get to do the things I do because of her. She is an amazing support system, and we always are ragging on each other. But yeah, I am the person I am today because of her. So I just want to shout her out. If you guys, we'll start with Kat. If you want to, again, just give your intro. The next time you're going to be streaming, everybody has the Twitch link in there. So make sure you give all these amazing people follows. But yeah, if you want to say again who you are, next time you're going to be streaming, and the one person that you want to shout out.
Right, me first? Okay. Yeah. I stream from Tuesday to Thursday, and on Fridays is a different time. So next time I'm streaming is tomorrow at 6 p.m. UK time. You do the math for your time zone. And I stream variety, and I want to shout out my other sis. I usually shout out BROFISH. That's why I was really stuck on that one, because BROFISH is right here. So my other sis is going to be Fefinator. Fefinator is a great person that I met on Mixer and followed here, just like BROFISH. We're kind of like the Musketeers. We have a fourth one as well. But yeah, that's it for me.
Addie, if you want to go next.
Sure. I'm Addie. I'm always really awkward with these, I'm sorry. But I'll be live tomorrow, and I'll be playing Destiny as usual, helping people get the things that they need to get. I'll be starting between 8 p.m. and 9 p.m. UK time. Again, do the math for your time zone, because that's difficult for me. There are so many content creators that I could really shout out. But I freaking love Pretty Petty LA. She is one of the best humans that I know, and she is inspiring me to become better than what I am. I'm going on this whole health kick of not eating so much trash and actually walking and potentially looking into yoga and stuff like that. But she's not just encouraging me to be better physically, she's encouraging me to be healthier mentally in how I look at myself and how I treat myself. So Perry is a huge inspiration to me. She is amazing.
Brofish.
So I stream Monday to Friday from noon Eastern. I typically stream for about 4 to 8 hours. I also sometimes stream on Saturdays if there's stuff going on, or Sundays as bonuses if there's more going on. Tomorrow I might be live a little early. I'm still working out the details, but I normally start at noon Eastern. We're doing Teraba farming tomorrow in Crown of Sorrow because I still don't have Teraba. Today we spent all day farming Anarchy, so, and I got it 3 times. But yeah, I stream a lot of variety, but I'm really focused on Destiny right now. Oh God, there's just there's so many people I could shout out right now, but the first one that comes to mind is Lock and Load Liv, who is another amazing woman in the Destiny directory. She just finished her solo blind prophecy dungeon this week, and I'm so proud of her for sticking with it. And I'm just she had an awful time with some people being not great, but she rose above it. She fucking kicked ass. She did the thing. She did the dungeon. So she is my shout out. Lock and Load Liv.
She's such a wonderful human.
Jade, if you want to go next.
Thank you guys for having me on. Like, I was kind of shocked, and Mike had asked me. Well, Mike and Cliff asked me to be on because, like, I don't stream at all. But I really want to. I want to thank Fox for being the one to like make a post about it, because if she never made that tweet, then Maru wouldn't have had the idea to have us all on here to speak about this. So thank you for that. And thank you to Nogi, because he gave me a pep talk yesterday, because I was like, yeah, I don't stream and I don't have a community, and I don't play Destiny as heavily as I did. So I don't know if I'm going to fit into this conversation. And he gave me a really encouraging pep talk, as he always does. And he's like, look, like, you're just a part of this community as anyone else. Just because you don't stream doesn't mean anything. Like, you're just as competitive. You're a vocal part of the community. You always have been. So thank you for encouraging me through all the bullshit and still encouraging me to stream, as well as like his entire channel. Thank you. Yeah, thank you to both of you guys.
And Fox.
Shucks, man.
He's so damn stupid.
Stop, man.
My name is FOXYTOCINN, or Fox, most people call me. I stream Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, but I'm actually unfortunately on a break right now because my mom is in town. So
Oh,
this is like the
Fox.
only thing I'm going to be on
So
all
cute.
week.
I love it.
But I will be live again next Wednesday, for sure. My shout out, gosh, it's so hard picking just one person.
It's alright. It's alright. You can pick me. It's totally okay. Don't worry about it.
You already got your...
My shout out actually has to be to my, because he's in chat right now. He's Lunarology. He is like my biggest supporter, and also one of the biggest supporters of like women in this community that I've seen. Like, ever since I said anything and wanted to speak out, like, he's done that to encourage, help me have a voice, set up the whole sweats community for girls, and he's also like lifted other women up and stuff, and I'm just like so proud to be with
My
a
heart.
crazy story. So is it okay if I say one more thing about the sweats community?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
If any of you girls are interested, or anyone in chat is interested at all that's a female and wants to play,
Girl,
we are
put that
doing
plug
all
in.
girl sweats.
Hey,
Let's do it.
y'all
I don't
better...
have a PC. I'm gonna be late. To the party.
That's okay.
I'm working on it. I'm making the monies. I'm doing it. I'm working on it.
But we do
I'll be
host
there.
those We host them through my Discord right now. So if you guys are interested, you can definitely just DM me on
I will be.
Twitter or whatever. Kels, I see you in chat right now. Girl, I want you in there. You're badass at this game.
Kels is nasty.
Kels is nasty at this game.
She's spanking people. That's crazy. Kels is nuts.
But I can't say too much about it right now because it's still in the works. But me and another incredibly talented girl in the community, or woman in the community, her name is Vixen. She's actually just got on Who Dares. Also ridiculously good at the game. We are working on getting officially for ladies as well.
Sounds great.
If you guys are interested at all, let me know.
I posted already in chat, but Gav or Liv, if you want to post the Discord link in chat, you're more than welcome to. So it's free for
Gav's
anybody to
already
post.
on it.
Yeah. We did have some amazing people. Don't worry, Nagi, I got you. We did have some. Love you. We did have some amazing people that either weren't able to get on or had other obligations, but there was definitely a lot of interest in this. So I hope that everybody takes Fox on this this invitation and definitely joins in, because I think it's going to be big. I definitely want to make sure that you guys have that safe space, and that when everybody is ready, we do have that one inclusive community where everybody can just kind of game without no problem. So Nagi, if you want to do your shout out, and then I'll close up, and then we're good to go. Yep.
It's my shout out. Y'all already know what the fuck my shout out about to be.
There he go.
Y'all already know my shout out about it. I only got one person in my life that I be giving it, and it's that fine thing right there. This little smart, intelligent, gorgeous. As Empress. Empress is my shout out. Empress is always and will be my shout out, because damn it, again, I wouldn't be alive if it wasn't for her kicking me in my fucking ass. That's really what it comes down to.
Aww.
But it's really a situation to it, like 100%. Like there are a lot of people who speak out there, and the thing that makes Empress my shout out is because last week we were talking about mental health, and she was a major shout out for every. I know it seems like ironic that she's always my shout out, but for every particular conversation that we have, and I'm saying this on a serious note, not just because she's so damn important to me, but it's really because of the fact that every single time that there is in fact a shout out, it's for a particular reason. Last week we were talking about mental health, and my mental health was shit before I met her. This week we're talking about women's rights, and she is in fact someone that is really, and when I was having the conversation with her yesterday, she was in fact what I referred to as hidden talent, because she revealed her hours play. How many hours did you play in Overwatch?
3,100 hours.
I got 795 hours in Destiny. We're just gonna leave it at that. My point is that when it comes down to knowing the game, knowing the analytics, knowing everything behind everything in a game, she is very, very, very well equipped to be a professional. Only thing she's missing from being a professional player is a contract, and that's why I say what I say when it comes down to being a vocal aspect of the community, her putting in just as much work as everybody else here. She earned her spot here. So we didn't request her to be here and ask her to be a part of this just because she knows us. She earned her spot. She works for that. Nobody helped her. Nobody patted her on the back. She didn't do it for a cookie. She busted her ass to get here. So that's my shout out, outside of the fact that I love you. You just...
That was beautiful.
You guys cute.
I'm a little jealous
There he
though.
go.
I'm a little jealous, but okay. It's Nagi says all this stuff to me behind scenes. He just doesn't say it on stream. It's okay.
I do, but I don't. There's no proof, so it didn't happen.
Again, I just want to thank you guys for popping on. I appreciate you all. Everybody in chat, I want to thank you all. We've been here for almost 3 hours, and you guys, I think I've been seeing people from the very get-go, and they're still in here, so I appreciate all of you. In good old-fashioned, we're going to go raid somebody, and I think in the interest of what this episode is, it should be a woman streamer. So I'm just going to go down this list here real quick. Again, if you guys are not following all these amazing content creators, make sure to give them a follow. Definitely check out the next time they're live. I would definitely offer this invitation for you guys to return whenever you want to continue this conversation and anything else you guys want to talk about. But yeah, I think, let's see,
There's a few that I see.
yeah, I have a couple just that I see are streaming right now.
Someone I have.
Do you guys have any recommendations? I have a couple, but I always like to leave it up to the guests. So if anybody has recommendations, if you guys
Can I?
Yeah.
I'll DM you because I don't want to say the channel out loud.
Yeah.
Right. There's a few, yeah.
There's a couple good ones. Right
It's. I think it speaks to the fact that how much I have to scroll. Like, there's a few in like the top, there's a few in like the top 50, but you have to scroll, man. I feel like that should tell you enough, you know.
I got none right now. So sad.
Okay, yeah, definitely, Addie. If you could, if you give me that link, we'll definitely read her.
Let's go make somebody's day.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's go be cute and nice and stuff.
Let's do what we all have been preaching here for the last 3 hours and show love and good vibes and show them that, you know, we're not a bunch of shitty ass people. So
where we going? Where we dropping?
We're gonna drop on person that was mentioned, which is Pretty Petty LA.
Yes!
She is streaming, so we're gonna jump on her.
With it.
Again, go show the support, go show the love. I love you guys. Most of us are gonna be live either tomorrow or sometime next week. Stay safe out there. Be respectful. Be kind. And don't be a shitty person.
Wear a damn mask.
Yes, wear a fucking mask.
Bro. I don't want to talk about it.
Get the Destiny one when it goes back in stock. Wear your masks.
Stay safe.
Did you do it right this time, Mike?
I'm trying, bro. I'm trying. It was so much. Listen.
I was muted. The mask is still in store in the EU, in stock in the EU store. I can order a couple and get them sent over if you want.
Did he do it right?
All right, let's go. Let's go
Did
drop
he
a
did it
love
right?
bomb.
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah, you did right.
yay!
Yeah.
Show the love.
Yeah.
You let me know when we're clear.
She's also a screamer, so turn down your earphones.
I mean, that's same
Oh,
though.
boy.
Yeah.
Did we just become best friends? Yep.
Oh, she is a screamer.
You weren't joking.